We're live, by the way.
All right.
Okay, let me post a thing.
Say, we're streaming.
You didn't post an
Watch
announcement
us.
last week? Do I have to do everything?
Oh, I
couldn't
guess so.
figure out
We
how to
can't
do
do
it.
anything without you.
You're the brains of the operation.
We just link
terrible.
it.
We were terrible at reading the chat too. We were really bad at it. We need you. You're an integral part of our team.
I get sick.
Also, I spent all of our money.
You literally just copy paste the link to Dragon's Archive.
Yeah, but we didn't remember. We forgot.
And then, see, look, I'm telling you how to do it in case I get sick again. Then you put the little @ symbol, and you @ everyone. And say,
watch it.
streaming now. That's how you give an announcement, okay?
But I don't know. I forgot though.
You already forgot it.
I already saw Mishmash just begin with inhale, and I hadn't seen, hey! Yeah, I was just about to say, so how do we smell?
Right.
I showered for this. I want to make sure.
It's really funny considering what we were just talking about as well.
All right. So, we've got it started. People are starting to filter in.
Yay.
I see our announcement live on Discord. Since I presume it would be the people who show up early who would care about this first. Oh, yay, Screams and Simp is here to
I'm glad I showered today.
I don't want to get sniffed, guys.
Ow, what the?
I was sniffing for them.
Oh.
All right, so why don't we just go ahead and start before we even do our introductions. We'd like to make sure we don't do our introduction at 4-6. Laurel, why don't you go ahead and start and tell them what you've done in the background so we can get that started and pay your bills?
I spent all our money.
As is your job.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
And your job is to tell me no, but you weren't here to tell me no.
Sorry, I got sick.
Where's our money? So I spent like 10 grand to pay for more ships.
Of course.
We're building a couple more destroyers.
Okay.
I also went ahead and prepaid for 10 minesweeper ships because I felt like, or not 10, 5. I spent 10K on minesweeper ships, but I only bought 5 of them, so.
So basically just Laurel went ahead and arranged y'all's shipyards because you had 3 become available. 2 of them are being used to build your new class of destroyer, and one of them is just going to build minesweepers until it's needed because those are easy to cancel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And-
we'll get our money back if we cancel the future ones, but, you know.
Great.
Uh-huh.
Just want to confirm that sounds good with you guys. So 3 new shipyards, 2 for building the new destroyer class, and 1 kind of kept in reserve, building something small and cancelable.
Mm-hmm. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
It's too late now.
Oh no, the money hadn't been taken out yet. Just this was the plan. Laurel wanted to make sure and okay it with you guys.
All right,
It's
then it
okay.
is official.
You do it. I don't want to take the
Yes.
money out.
Okay. It will be done.
I got sick and it turned my hair red.
like Marga Magenta.
All right. So that means that you're laying down the new destroyer class that LA owns, and you're building minesweepers, which are very helpful if you are going to be invading somewhere, because whenever you are invading, you already have to deal with surface ships, aircraft, and submarines, and mines. But if you bring minesweepers, you only have to deal with surface ships, submarines, and aircraft. Because if you run into mines, normally, if you roll that encounter, there's no check, there's no warning, it's just you're sailing along and 1 or more ships just explode. And if they're small ships, they die. If they're big ships, they take significant damage.
So
Mines
now
are really bad.
Now we don't have to worry about that.
That's pretty cool.
Good. Let
But-
me just read off one of the chat things because it's
Go ahead.
hilarious. You're looking small and cancelable today, says Mitch Matt.
Oh no.
Screams and Snip and Mishmash, they're going to cancel each other.
I'll
and-
cancel you on Twitter.com.
But yeah, just to finish the thing, basically what a minesweeper does is if you have enough of them, I believe it's 1 for every 10 other ships in your fleet, and the encounter rolled is mines, then you do run into mines, but the minesweepers, like, find them first and destroy them and nobody gets hurt. So it's like smooth sailing, but even better because mutiny doesn't go up.
Yeah.
So that's what minesweepers are for. They're very small, they're very cheap, but you need them if you're going to be invading places.
Mm-hmm. Also, to catch you up on
Oh,
what
yes.
we're doing, We are in Taiwan now, right?
No.
We are in Siam.
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 Thailand. My head hurts. Like I was saying, it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
We are in Siam. That is where we are.
Okay.
And we dragged your sick body onto your ship and threw you in the infirmary.
I mean,
We tossed you in there and said, "You're coming along. You don't get sick days.
You
Just
exit
stay
from your
there."
fever delirium in a completely different country.
Yes.
You went to sleep one night in France, and you have woken up in...
France?
Not France.
why are we in France?
We're not in France.
You
You went to
went to
sleep one night in Italy, and you woke up in Siam.
You went to sleep in La Spezia and woke up in Bangkok. Which
I'm
is
not
almost
gonna
on the other
make
side of the world.
It tied you up and took you for a while.
Also,
Yes.
the English are being jerks.
Yes.
They made us pay 50 of our bull.
Well, weren't we making who were we making pay something?
Yugoslavia.
Yeah, aren't we making Yugoslavia play for something?
And that's
Yes,
why.
but it's not fair when they do it to us.
Okay, fair enough. You know what? You got me there.
But we did pay them because we can't afford to
Start a
go
war with
around.
England.
Yeah, start a war with them, go around.
You know that stuff.
So
And
we
you-
paid them 50 bull.
That's not that much.
Each
yeah,
way.
but each way. So I went ahead and
100
paid.
bull?
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, but I paid it. So
Out of your money?
I don't have bull. That's billions of dollars, billions of lira.
Out
I
of
don't
our
have
money.
that. The bull comes from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from the government.
I don't want it.
All right,
I'm not a
and
big fan of the...
so you're officially here in Asia to make diplomatic overtures to the Western and Southern Chinese warlords. But Laurel decided that they wanted to have the fleet stop in Siam first.
Okay.
After you were aware of what happened to
Yeah,
Siam, right?
they got taken over by Japan.
Yeah, okay. I didn't
Japan
remember.
won.
Yeah, we're hanging out there.
Yeah.
So you were...
I was delirious, but I heard about
Okay,
it. And
yes.
Jared and Red told me.
So basically what happened was I planned for it to be a full-on war, but the dice decided that it was more like a shift in government to one that is controlled by Japan. So it was less an all-out war and more like Japan just putting out an uprising in their new free territory.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
Let's start with the introductions
Yeah, I was
now,
about
then.
to tell you
Yeah.
to do that.
So, my name is Calvin Anderson. I am the head writer of Song of Sirens, and I'm going to be the GM for this campaign. And this is going to be a mostly diplomatic session, but I have prepared the map in case combat becomes inevitable.
Yeah, because France is being very aggressive right now.
There's French fleets in the area.
I know, it's scary. I'm Laurel. I'll be playing Caterina Donatelli in this campaign.
I'm Dave. I'm playing Galileo Aquila in this campaign.
I'm Red. I'm playing Daniel Ambrosio in this campaign.
And there's just one thing I want to touch on. Crimson. Saying, speaking of Siam, cue the Might of the Empire from Red Alert 3. I looked up that song after you said that at the end of the game, and that, 1 minute OST is exactly what it sounds like whenever they sail into Bangkok and just see a massive fleet of Japanese warships sitting in the harbor, menacingly holding on to the capital of this once free
It's
nation.
really funny.
Walk up to Masashi. Dude, what the hell?
Right? Also, yeah, we love fake politics here. Get those real politics out of it. We only like SOS politics.
And these politics are going to lead to a fun surprise that I have in store for you that I am almost certain you'll get to see both of the fun surprises I have in store. And when I say fun surprise, I don't mean that in a big fat meaning GM way. I mean like an actual fun surprise.
He's been teasing me with it all week.
Yes, nobody knows about this. I've done it in secret. There might be one person in chat who knows what this is if they are here, but I doubt it because they don't live they live in an inconvenient time zone for our stream, I believe.
Oh.
But they'll probably hear about it in the VOD, and they'll know that I'm talking about them, methinks.
Okay.
But you don't get to see the surprise in Siam. It is elsewhere.
Well, let's get stuff done in Siam and go elsewhere then.
Yes, I didn't expect you to come here, so I don't have things prepared for you here, but you are certainly welcomed, and Admiral Masashi is here, and the new Queen of Siam is here, along with many things that Japan would prefer you not to find. It depends on if you look for them or not.
Why would we?
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're our good friend Japan. They would never do anything untoward towards others.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it is, let me take a look, the 23rd of July, 1930, and you are beginning your week in Siam.
Oh,
And
geez, it's the 23rd. I thought it was the 9th. Hold on.
No, it is the 23rd. And I will say that if you go from Siam to the southern Chinese warlords, it will not take you a full week to get there because
Right.
of the proximity.
So should we go Siam, China, Japan?
There's 2 Chinas. So there's the because China's currently in the midst of a civil war, and in the real life there were maybe a dozen different factions that held power, and that was already too much. So I condensed it down in Song of Sirens to 2. Just saying that basically the Civil War is still happening, it's still ongoing, they're still fighting each other, but instead of it being a dozen different factions, it's effectively consolidated down to the 2 strongest ones. So there's this is something really important, because I made a mistake last time, and because of that, because I don't like making mistakes, and because I need a way to punish myself, each of you get 1 pearl, because I did make a major mistake that I have to correct.
Yeah, I saw the correction in the Discord.
Yes, because I knew not all of you would see the correction in the Discord. The southern Chinese warlords are led by Li Bai, the Empress, and what she calls the heir to the proper Chinese throne. So she considers herself the inheritor to the Qing dynasty. I believe I'm saying that right? The Qing dynasty. It's Qing, the Qing dynasty. And she claims to be related to the father of the last emperor. And she does have some evidence to back that up, which you can ask her about whenever you meet her. And they are very much an authoritarian dictatorship under the Empress. Mm-hmm. And then the Western Chinese warlords have consolidated power under a communist revolutionary named Zhou Guang. And he is somebody who is a fanatical communist who has united most of Western China, especially like a lot of the more rural areas, under his control. So he is a fanatical communist revolutionary. I said it backwards the last time. So the Empress in the south and the communists in the west, which just makes more sense. I don't know why I got them mixed up.
You're good.
So the southern Chinese warlords, they control less territory, but the territory they control is more industrialized. It's more like the big cities and the ports. The Western Chinese warlords control a lot more territory, and have more people on average because they have more territory. But because one area is richer than the other, they are economically about equal, which is why they've been in a stalemate for several years.
Makes sense. Screams and Simp is saying that your mistake is a skill issue.
Yes, it was a skill issue on my part. I should have remembered more perfectly. That's the job of a GM.
You have to remember everything, no matter what.
Indeed. I made this, and therefore I have to be perfect at all the time.
It's your brainchild.
You must be a computer.
Yes, and because I was not perfect, each of you got a pearl. It's also been a minute since I gave you one, and I'm sure that you will use those pearls to make my life more difficult.
Oh yeah,
so.
I've got 4 pearls now.
You're hoarding them?
Not on purpose, I just
Do
haven't
we have
had
a
a reason
limit
to.
on how many we can keep? Or...
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
We earned them.
There's going to be a point where I just forget to use pearls, or I just don't need to use pearls. I'm going to have like
We're gonna end
10.
We're gonna end the campaign. You're gonna have like 20.
And there's going to be one where I'm just like, I need this to be perfect. And the dice don't like me. I'm just going to re-roll with all my pearls.
Yeah, because, I mean, if I let you re-roll once, I'll let you re-roll a dozen times. I don't really care. Because if I like the number as it is, I'll just say, no, you can't use a pearl. So, it's whatever. But you will get to the Chinese warlords later. Right now, you are in Siam. But I did just want to tell you, the western ones are a little bit further away, but to go to the southern Chinese warlords, it would only take you like 2.5, 3 days of sailing at speed to reach their capital, Nanjing. And at the time, the Western powers called it Nanking. But I'm just going to say that doesn't one of you speak Chinese?
I speak Japanese.
Okay, no,
Hold on,
you
wait.
speak just Japanese.
Hold on, let me check to make sure.
I'm just going to say...
I do speak Chinese!
Yeah, so since
Okay,
you
nice.
know that, I'm just going to have you guys use the official Chinese name for it, both as a, like, recognition of them and because, like, you know better and because it's easier. So, like, yeah, normally you guys would call it Nanking, but because one of you is already familiar with China, you'd be like, oh, what's a city? Isn't it Nanking? And you just say, you correct them, no, it's Nanjing. So you guys are just going to call it the correct
Nanjing.
name.
Yep.
That's what they would call it.
Yep.
So, it's the city of Nanjing.
Nice.
That is the capital of southern China right now. It gets shifted to Beijing later.
Yep.
So, yes, so you are in Siam, and if you choose to go to northern China, if you only spend a couple days here, you could sail there and start your next week there. Or if you choose to spend a full week here, you could only have to spend half of your week getting there next time. Just want to let you guys know, it's not so far away that it'll take you a full week of travel. It's just not that far.
Okay, sounds good. So, what do we see as we go into Siam?
So, as you are sailing into the harbor at Bangkok, what you do see is, obviously, since this is a capital city, it's very well defended. So there are lots of, like, coastal guns and, like, a fort or two that you pass. And most of them look like that there are, like, some scarring around them, but you're all able to tell, since you are admirals, that none of it looks like it was damaged by naval gunfire. It doesn't look like a fleet forced their way in here and, like, blew through the defenses and, like, rushed in and blitzed this place. It looks more like it was infantry weapons that were going off inside the fort. So it's more like the people in the forts were fighting other people, and then once they were captured, a navy sailed in here. So the city doesn't look like it has just suffered a naval assault, because a lot of its defenses are still intact, and these guns would not still be operational if there was a naval assault. The large ships would have destroyed them way before any, transports got within range.
Yeah.
So you know that this city was taken without a naval bombardment. You do see some signs of struggle. There's no active gunfire in the city right now that you can hear, and your hearing's really good. So, but you can tell that there are, I guess, just like little signs, like some houses maybe have some bullet holes. There's like one or two like scorch marks where it looked like maybe a grenade went off. So there was definitely a struggle of some kind in this city, but it does not look like it was, like, invaded by tens of thousands of Marines supported by capital ship bombardment. So there was definitely some kind of struggle, but it does not look like Japan invaded and conquered this city outright. Looks like maybe part of the city was already friendly to Japan whenever they arrived, and then it was the Japanese arriving that crushed any last bits of resistance. Seems very well coordinated, executed, and planned. And as you do sail into the harbor, you do see a large majority of the Japanese invasion forces here. I'll say you see 2 Fuso-class battleships, but weirdly not the 2 you saw before. They have different names on them. So that tells you that Japan has at least 4 of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you see one other Congo-class battlecruiser. Again, not the actual Congo, so another one of what the former Hiei's sisters.
Right.
And they actually, whenever they're having like tugboats and whatnot, move your capital ships into a safe place in the harbor. They actually put the Marc Antonio next to one of her former sisters.
Aww.
So it's 2 near identical ships but flying different flags.
That's
Just
cool,
because-
though.
Just because they thought that would be kind of funny.
Yeah. And we as admirals appreciate it as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm actually going to say that around the time that you are sailing in, during the last bits of your voyage, you actually got a little bit of an escort from some small Japanese ships. They're just saying, like, hey, we have a convoy nearby, we'll escort you into because we're still worried about minor bits of resistance in the area, yada yada. And so you're actually landing at around about the same time as another group of Japanese merchants. And what you can tell based on kind of overhearing some sailors and what you can see from it is what's landing in the capital here is what was planned to be like the second wave of a Marine invasion. But a lot of the Marines actually seem really disappointed because there's no fighting left for them to do. So you're seeing a 5-digit number of Japanese Marines and literally thousands of tons of supply. Like what looks like they were planning this to be a second wave of attack in a desperate struggle, block by block fighting for the city, and they're landing in a place that's just already completely pacified. So, like, whenever they, were preparing in the homeland, they were preparing for, like, some great struggle, and to be, like, Normandy beaches, like, the doors plop down, machine guns, artillery fire, and then it's just more like they sail into the harbor, and then they just walk off a gangplank and, go garrison somewhere in the city.
Yep.
Which, weirdly, from a lot of the Japanese Marines, they seem downright disappointed. The feeling you get from them is they feel robbed. They feel robbed of the glory that they were promised. So, this just seems like there's a lot of, like, hunger and fight in them is the general feeling you're able to get. Because all of you, like, inciting a regular person or group of people, that's just really easy for your admirals. So, since you have a talent for it and you have very high wits, you can tell that the Japanese were really fixing for a fight here. And they didn't get as much of one as they expected.
Okay,
No, I wanna read it. So Mitch Mash is killing it tonight. Oh, hey sis, why are you Italian? Hiroshima, I don't want to talk about it.
just forcibly Italianized.
Right?
Yes.
Get Italian, idiot.
So, as you do arrive and you come off the plank, you do have a little bit of a welcoming committee. And specifically, it is the figures that are the most important are Admiral Masashi and the person who you obviously recognize as the new Queen of Siam.
Yep.
Though you don't get the feeling that she has a language she can communicate with you in. You don't think she's very multilingual. But she does have a translator there.
Okay.
What
But she is there.
What did she speak?
I believe Siamese is its own language.
Okay.
Today we would call it Thai, and
Okay.
that's the only language she currently
Taiwanese,
speaks.
yeah.
Because she wasn't trained to be a diplomat.
I got you.
That wasn't what the palace originally intended for her.
I
So.
got you. Okay. That's probably Taiwanese.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a look at they speak Thai.
Yep, Thai. I just didn't know if it would be called Siamese in that time period or not. So.
I'm not sure, yeah.
It doesn't make a big difference. So. But the language we would know today as Thai.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got a landing, and Masashi and the Queen are there to greet you. And he'll just leave with, Good afternoon, Admirals. I'll admit it was a surprise. We're more than happy to facilitate your visit in our new friendly nation of Siam. But it was quite the surprise that you came to visit us. We thought your mission was to the Chinese. We don't believe there's much of a reason for diplomacy here, as the Thai are already very good friends of the Japanese Empire, and are more than willing to facilitate any help that we need in exchange for us helping them reclaim the territory that was stolen from them by France.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're here to help them.
Their previous king was incompetent and unwieldy. He has been replaced. He does not say that. But
you are being rescued. Do not resist.
that is exactly what's happening.
Man, a lot of that's been happening this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because we're right.
We're right.
We're right.
I mean, you do know that WAR is an acronym, right? It stands for We Are Right.
You're right.
That is a common joke in political circles. WAR is an acronym, stands for We Are Right. War happens when one country believes something and another country believes something totally different, and they're not willing to compromise. War is We Are Right. And at the end of that war, someone is probably correct.
But we're the most right because God says we're right.
Exactly.
Right? And
Right?
That's
that is
exactly
an
what the Pope
actual
would say.
measurable thing in this universe. No.
All right, so just oh yes, of course, it's lovely to see you, Musashi. Masashi, sorry, got to get into my voice there. We were in the area, yes, because we are going to be traveling to China, but we heard how successful you were, and we could use a little bit of a resupply before we go back in, so we thought it would be alright if we came and visited all of you here.
Of
See what you've been
course.
up to.
Yeah.
We would be more than happy to have the Siamese government facilitate your resupply here.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
War doesn't determine who is right; it only determines who is left.
Yeah, that's also pretty true.
That's
It gets
true.
a little intense.
Yeah.
So yeah, but so that's how anything you guys want to say?
I didn't even know that's the reason why we came to Siam. I have no idea why we're here.
I only speak American. That's the only common language we have
We have
here.
translators.
We have
though, so-
translators. I just say hi. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Sashi.
It's good to see you again, Masashi.
So, I just wanted to ask, what was... do you have any purpose for your visit beyond resupply? Is there anything you came to look at, investigate, or see for yourselves?
We got the news about your
Win.
success, and we just wanted to stop by and check.
I guess celebrate a little
Yeah,
bit for you.
celebrate.
A celebration! That's why
Yes.
you're here. Of course! Well, while your ships resupply, I would be more than happy to facilitate a celebration. Come, take whatever belongings you need. Would you like to stay the night in the palace?
Of course.
Yeah,
And
of
I guess
course.
I point to some sailors. We did bring a ship full of merchant goods, so I'm gonna say we just offload a little bit of that. Most of it's gonna go to China, but offload just a little bit here to help with the celebration.
I believe it was a 10,000 ton ship, so you could do like 1,000 in Siam and then 3,000 each in China, Japan.
Yeah,
That
we'll
sounds
do
good.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just offload 1K of our
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
stuff to do like a yay, you won.
Now we have a good way to split it through ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll make it nice and easy, because obviously Siam's not as important diplomatically as the other three.
This is what is it whenever you do it just so you can say that you've done it
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
For show?
Yeah, we're just doing this for show mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So then, in that case, all three of you are invited to the palace, and they're going to begin by giving you a tour, as it is a kingdom, so I presume that there is a very fancy palace.
Only the three of us.
The three of you, unless you're going to take any of your sirens along with you.
I'd
Yeah,
like
I
to bring Lorelai. She likes
I want
parties.
to bring. Well, maybe I shouldn't bring.
Giovanna is here.
I don't
Do
know.
you wanna
I
bring
don't know
her?
if I should bring her though.
I mean, she's not outright racist. She just
Yeah.
doesn't like new things.
This is a very new place. She might not want to come.
She said she doesn't mind new if it's better.
I'll bring Giovanna.
I'm bringing Lorelai.
Yeah,
Of
I'll
course.
bring Aurelius.
I was asking because I know how Japan feels about sirens, so I was just wondering.
Plus,
yes.
whoever our top officers are, because
Yeah, they
they're
don't-
magic.
Of course, they deserve a day
It's not
off.
that Japan hates sirens, they just treat them like garbage.
That's what I'm saying.
And we can be an example of how to properly treat sirens.
I feel like Giovanna wouldn't take it.
Oh, but to Japan, these aren't sirens, these are guests from their only strong ally.
That is true.
God, it's so
They're
sad that
sirens.
we're their only strong ally because
Yep.
we're
We're poor.
we're not strong. I'm pretty sure if we went head to head against Japan,
With
we would
Japan's
lose.
luck, yeah. With Japan's luck, have you seen how luck?
You got the luck of the devil.
Yeah,
Right?
That's that.
All right.
I did also roll massively for how big their fleet is, but everyone got that.
Yes.
So
We're over here as the underdogs, getting ready to take over the world anyway because I'm going at this with Dark Souls mentality. Keep going, just smashing your head against the brick wall until you break it.
All right.
each of the Chinas has a fleet equivalent in size to yours. Your ships are just more technologically advanced than
And
theirs.
this is
Don't
why
worry.
allies matter.
We're gonna get a lot of destroyers soon.
Mhm.
We're
yeah.
gonna get a bunch.
Yes. All right. So you basically get taken on like a tour of the palace. You get to see all of the splendors of this kingdom. It looks like the palace itself, while there are a lot of buildings that seem to have like some scars and everything if something go down, the palace looks completely untouched.
That's
You
good.
think maybe that either they took this first or this was kind of the start of things, but it looks like you do not see any evidence of fighting anywhere within the palace itself. There's only one place where you see any evidence of anything, there's one place where you might be able to see some evidence of anything. If any of you want to roll kind of a general perception with your
Wit.
just a wit, then you might be able to see one place where there was something, but that's it.
Rolling wit.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I got a 19!
All right, so you'll be able to see it.
Hold on. Where's my character?
Honestly, I think you're probably going to smell it.
I think you're still sick.
I have an 11.
Mm-hmm.
I got a +1. I rolled an 18 there.
Bro. I rolled a 5. I have +6.
What's really
No,
funny
I
is...
rolled a 5.
All right, so you're actually whenever you're in the throne room itself, while you don't see any evidence of anything, you definitely, in some places, especially on the throne itself, you see what looks like that it's been reupholstered recently, and you still smell a bit of a hint of blood, as if somebody had bled out in this room. You also heard that the king of Siam and the eldest prince died, so you can put 2 and 2 together.
You're sniffing.
You think maybe they died in this room?
Man, I wonder how you guys didn't smell that with all the sniffing you were doing when we started training.
Why didn't you warn us?
Why didn't you tell us there was a dead body?
Well, I'm the only one that can smell it,
Yeah.
apparently. So,
Yeah, so you just get that, just a bit of that whiff of, like that, metallic, irony smell.
it's a horrible smell.
Yeah, so just like you smell like they did a very good job of cleaning it. You doubt any humans can smell it, especially since these two can't. But you're just able to get that little bit of, oh, somebody died in here. Somebody bled out and died in this room recently.
Yeah.
So that's the only sign of anything wrong you see in the palace.
Man, they cleaned up really well.
You say that out loud?
I say that quietly to you.
Very quietly.
Very quietly.
Well, yeah, I don't see anything wrong.
It's the smell. You can't smell it?
I will say that when you two were specifically looking for it, with his help, you're able to kind of get like a little whiff of it.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Wouldn't this technically be body, since it's like a part of the physicality of it?
Oh yeah, it would be. Oh well, the roll stand. So.
Yeah, but because it still makes sense, because I got a +5 to body.
Yeah, mine would have still been bad.
Yeah, so I'm going to say roll stand, but you're right. I'll try to remember that for the future. Yeah, since it's a physical part of your body, then yes, it would be.
Yeah.
But, so you get a tour of the palace, and by the end of it, I'm going to say you already arrived kind of late in the afternoon. It's kind of leaning into the evening now. And each of you are shown to a nice room. It seems like there's a lot of like guest rooms in the palace, as there should be. And each of you are escorted to your own guest rooms, and somebody basically gives you an offer of each of your sirens can stay in a room with you or have their own room at your discretion.
I will ask if Lorelai would like to stay in a room with me or have her own room.
Make me a charm check.
Okay. Okay, my charm is like, I believe, a +4, but I'm going to check on my page first.
How are our sirens reacting, by the way, to the palace and everything? Do
One
they think
second.
it's cool?
I want to see how this resolves, because currently she's... All you have to do is just beat her DC, because she can go either way. No. Just like, I'll be sleeping in my own room now that we're in a place that can afford it, thank you.
That sassiness.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
You have a nice sleep.
I want to ask.
I will.
I want to ask Giovanna the same.
Mm-hmm.
God,
But
that
she
one.
wants her own room, guys.
Yeah, I'm just going to have that roll stand for all of them.
Yep.
That 8 is not enough to beat Giovanna's DC of 12, so...
Oh no, I accidentally closed it.
Just like, well, I don't think these rooms have bunk beds, so I'll just have my own room, thanks.
That is fair.
Let's imagine.
You guys suck.
Are you going to ask the same thing of Aurelius?
Yeah. Well, why not? I can do that.
DC is 12.
And it's charm, right?
Yes.
If I fail,
I have a
that's really
+2.
sad.
I got a nat 1 on my charm.
Eh.
I'm still distracted by the smell of blood.
It's not exactly romantic.
No.
Oh no!
Yeah, no.
We're
Oh my
all alone
goodness.
tonight.
It's just like, well, while I might not mind for austerity purposes, I don't think a palace represents austerity, Admiral Admiral Donatelli. I will take my own room while I can enjoy it.
Of course. I just wanted to make sure you know that my room is always open in case you get lonely.
I feel safe here.
All right.
I don't.
I know.
He's innocent. He does feel safe here. He does not understand what has happened here. It's just like, oh, Siam and Japan are friends now.
Yay!
Yay!
Screams and Simp just said Daniel just fumbled sleeping with his girl, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
That-
much.
I mean, if you still had the stink of death in your nose, would you be able to flirt?
An ode to death, as is
Yes.
said in the chat. Love that in the morning.
All right. So do all three of you just like spend the night in your rooms?
Yeah.
Is that all you're doing?
Are
I'm
we
going to
allowed
do-
to go around?
Nobody's watching. There's like definitely are some
Well-
soldiers posted outside your rooms, but they can't make you do anything.
I've been
I-
sick. I want to go look around.
I want
Sure.
to investigate the
mess
castle.
around, go mess around.
Sure.
What does that
what do I
win?
roll for that?
Well, what are you looking for?
I don't know. I'm just looking.
anything interesting or out of sorts.
Sure. Go ahead. Roll your wits
Do
then.
we want to go together?
You know, we
Hold
could-
hands.
Yeah.
Hang out with the
we all
Siam
hold
royal
hands.
family.
We're frolicking
Okay,
down.
you want to go try and speak with the queen.
Yeah.
We're frolicking down the halls.
Yay.
All right, let's.
You guys could go first.
My God, I'm
19,
10.
baby.
Okay, with a 19, I'm gonna see if there's anything that does. Give me a decisive roll. Okay, I am gonna say that as you do some investigation, you do actually hear a little bit of something. But in order to be able to find this without getting caught, I'm gonna need a body check.
Oh, that's me.
No, him.
No. Oh
I
no!
got through. Okay, I'm
But we're the same. We're with each other.
Oh,
we're
so you're gonna
investigating
split up then?
together.
Are we
What?
splitting up then?
Well, because if you're rolling each individually, you have to split up. Or if you're going together, it's the lowest out of the two of you.
Oh, don't come with me.
No.
Go away. I shoved him away.
She ditches you.
Because
I
if you want to use your body check, you'd have to make the wit check.
I'm re-rolling that.
Sure, you can use a pearl.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Not
So-
natural.
You do manage to slip out of the palace and travel a ways into more of the outskirts of the city. And this is the only thing I can think of you guys might be able to find. You do actually find, basically, like by going a little bit outside of the city into, I guess what could be called the suburbs, because this is
Yeah.
a major population center. Because what you had heard is just very faintly in the distance, you thought you'd heard gunshots. So you had gone to investigate them, and you find, basically what you're able to find is based on some conversations you overhear, is you found a group of rebels that were attempting to make their way to the palace, and you hear them talking with a group of Japanese soldiers, asking them what they were trying to do, and effectively getting out of them that they wanted to try and get to the Italian admirals in order to send them a message to show the world what is actually going on in Siam. And when the Japanese figure that out, what you witness is that group of a couple dozen rebels, after having been captured, being executed and pushed into a pit. So your presence here caused them to try and make a push to reach you. It didn't work. But you, undetectable to the Japanese soldiers, managed to see this up on a hill. This is happening down in a valley on the far outskirts of the city.
Dude, we can't afford to not be allies with Japan.
Especially now that we know how strong they are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
I
God.
think this is
And this
more.
conversation happened in Japanese, so you were able to understand it.
Yeah. Thank God you weren't there, the one to do this, because you don't know Japanese. Or do you?
Oh, by the way,
I know
the pit was not empty when this started, and it's clear the rebels were only recently dragged here. You do not get a good sign of how deep it is without rolling another stealth check to get closer.
That's another body thing, huh?
I got the important stuff. I know that there's other bodies in there. Like, I don't need to know the exact amount of bodies. I know they're in there.
Yeah. These rebels are not being arrested. They're not being taken to jail. They're not being tried. It's the Japanese soldiers found them, and they're getting rid of them after getting the information they want out of them. That's it. That just seems to be the policy for these soldiers. It could be a rogue officer, maybe, or this could be the standard practice for the army. You don't know.
But they were wanting to get to us to tell us stuff, not trying to get to us to kill us.
Yeah, it looks like they have. Looks like the rebels did have some kind of. They probably had some sort of like packet of evidence or testimonies or something, but you don't directly see it lying down there anywhere. If you went down there and rooted through things, like Solid Snake, maybe you could find it. But it's if you trust yourself to try and do that around a group of armed Japanese Marines.
Okay, here's the thing.
And it's a shame that I'm not here because I could probably do that.
Yeah, well, we would have had to use your crappy 10 instead of my awesome 19 to find this out.
Because you weren't even able to find this.
No. Of course, neither would you have if you hadn't used a pearl.
Oh, I would have. Well, I mean, yeah, I would have gotten caught. I would still found out, but I would have caught.
Basically, if you'd been caught at that point, it would have just been like, oh no, don't go over there, it's not safe. Here, let me redirect you over here. You know, just like, it's not like, you know, you get caught in a stealth game. It's more like just some official would direct you away. It's like, oh, that area has some hostiles in it. Don't go over there, it's dangerous. Yeah.
Okay.
It's up to you. Because it's just, the thing is, I try and play this realistically, and as much as I love Japan as a country, in 2024, Japan as a country in 1930 is brutal and monstrous and really, really bad.
Yeah.
Nothing against Japan or its people now, but Imperial Japan is a scary, dangerous place.
There's a reason we gotta drop the sun on them.
Right.
Twice.
Oh gosh, let's not talk about that.
Yeah. So, do they can I sit here for a bit to see if they go away? Are they gonna go away, or are they burying the bodies?
It looks like they are going to continue filling the pit until they run out of material. It does look like this one's a little bit full, so they probably get the idea that they're gonna shovel dirt onto it in a bit. In fact, you see a light tank with what looks like a bulldozer blade in front of it. So you get the feeling they're just gonna bury this mass grave unmarked before too long.
Good lord.
I really want to know the info now.
You get the feeling the info was just evidence of Japan doing bad things in Siam.
That we're not going to use because we can't afford to have them as enemies.
Yeah, because it's like, what would you do with that information? They want you to have it because they think you might help them, but would you help them even if you had that information? Because the only thing you could do with it would be blackmail Japan or get the rest of the world to actually be mad about Japan invading Siam. Because right now, due to what Siam did, the rest of the world doesn't really care about what Japan is doing in Siam. It's like, it's what you get.
I need all the info. I need it. Mm-hmm. 20 to sneak down there.
Okay. You, with a 20, as that is far beyond what there's very topping out what a regular human could do, you will be able to sneak down there. And only because you speak Japanese, you will be able to find a small dossier of documents documenting Japanese atrocities in Siam. This is not the pit. This is a pit.
Oh.
You know that this document is not everything. This is just what this particular group of rebels had. And with that 20, you will be able to sneak off with it. It's just up to you what you want to do with this very damning information against your only major ally.
Right. So, is it just about the pits, or is there, what's in the document exactly?
So, let me roll to see how bad it is.
Yeah, I need to know how bad it is. Are they, killing puppies bad?
Okay, what would you consider good for you?
Good?
Yes.
I would consider...
What would you consider a good result?
Only the death pits.
Okay, so it looks like that this document, the worst that you see documentation that they are not taking rebel prisoners at all.
Okay.
If they capture rebels, they die.
Okay.
And if places assist rebels, they get bombarded by artillery or warships or whatever.
Okay.
So they're taking a very harsh stance on any ounce, basically they want to take any, sparks of rebellion and just snuff them out as fast as humanly possible.
Okay.
And the other thing is, because this is Japan in 1930, and it's Song of Sirens where I make every country worse than it actually was, there is also evidence of Siamese women being mistreated by Japanese soldiers. But that should not come as a huge surprise.
Yeah, that's not too surprising for Japan at this time.
There's a lot of evidence of Japan doing that in the 1930s. I'm just being realistic. I don't want to, skip over those people's stories.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those are the two things you see primarily documented. So, the three things you see primarily documented. The not taking rebel prisoners. Okay. Regular civilians who aid the rebels are considered rebels if they aid them in any way. Mm-hmm. Basically, they say, hey, civilians, this is what happens if you help the rebels. Turn them out and, tell them to leave or you're going to be called rebels too. And Siamese women being mistreated en masse by the Japanese army.
Okay.
That's what you get evidence of.
Okay, so I was thinking, I'm not saying that what's happening isn't bad. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was going to be way worse.
You do not see any evidence of flat-out genocide or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just a very heavy-handed, iron-fisted approach to snuffing out rebellion.
It's still rough.
It's bad.
I was thinking Siam was getting genocided. That's what I was thinking.
No, it looks like they want to capture the country as intact as possible, but they don't want to deal with any resistance forces later.
And this is why Song of Sirens might not be for everyone.
It is.
This happens.
Because if you play it genuinely, it's a very dark game. But hey, if you don't want it to be dark, whenever you buy the system, you play it however you want. You can make it sunshine, unicorn farts, and rainbows all you want. But it's just I'm playing it as legitimately to 1930s, but worse. So, and Japan, and the but worse is even worse for Japan, because if you look into World War II history, Japan was really bad.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take these documents back to my room, and I think that maybe in the morning I'm going to show my friends, because I don't play a woman, so I think I should get a woman's opinion of this.
Okay, so basically, before they would get up to go to breakfast, you're going to kind of call a little meeting and show them this dossier you managed to solid snake your way into finding.
Yeah.
Man, you were really doing some sneak tactics.
This was the one thing I thought you guys might do in Siam. Yeah. So I did prepare for that.
So, I was just curious about Siam in general, because I've never been this far from home. So I went exploring last night, and I found something that I don't know what to think of. Right. And I pull the documents out to show you. And we're also saying I'm speaking very hushed as well.
And it's just the three of you, I imagine.
It's just us.
Yeah,
just us.
Not even our sirens. It's just us.
That's for the best. I'm glad that you made that clarification as well. That's
considering we have all women sirens.
No, we have Aurelius.
I don't count him yet.
Being mean to him.
I am. I only saw him. I've only interacted with him. I haven't even interacted with him. I've only heard of him from when he was summoned. I wasn't here last week. I've had no visualization of him in my brain yet.
That's fair. I do have a question though. Before we get to those documents, do I learn anything whenever I speak with the Queen of Siam?
Oh yeah, go with that. Yeah,
Katarina gets that information.
Yes, go for it.
Yeah, you can speak with her, and what you can convince her. Well, she might be able to reveal some things to you, but it depends on what you're trying to get her to talk about.
Let me take a look at my languages just to make sure. Yeah, we probably don't share any languages, but
no, but you can have a translator.
Exactly.
Because she would speak with you if you request an audience specifically, as you were considered a very important guest.
So yeah, let's see here. What kind of question should I ask?
I mean, she's the new Queen of Siam.
She was the former princess, now queen.
Okay.
Well, how she's being treated, how she sees her citizens being treated.
So basically, Katarina is going to introduce herself and try and get to know the Queen of Siam, just like hey, what is your thoughts and feelings on all of this? And I imagine she's going to tell me, oh, everything is great, but I want to try and read into what she's saying. I want to see if I can determine her true feelings behind her words.
It's like, oh, well, I see this as a wonderful transition for my country. We are a very minor regional power surrounded by other countries that would love to take advantage of us and who are far, far stronger. Whether it's the Chinese, the French, the British in the British Raj, or even to the south in Malaysia. we have the British on two sides, China on one side, and the French on another side. And even not that far away are American bases in the Philippines and Dutch bases in the East Indies. Any one of those countries, if they saw weakness, could easily turn Siam into nothing but a puppet. So I saw us being under the umbrella of another more powerful nation as nothing but inevitable. So I simply wanted to choose one that was close to home.
I think that's very good that you feel that way. I imagine that some other members of this government might not have agreed with that, so I'm glad that you made this choice.
My father's imperialist ambitions got him killed. Plain and simple. I'm not going to make a similar mistake.
All right, and I'd like to read her, please.
Go ahead.
Get an idea if she actually agrees with this, or if she was kind of forced into this position.
Because that seems like a pretty political answer.
So while you're rolling that, I
27.
just want to read one of the comments.
Mm-hmm.
So Mitchmash says, "Sir, I'm trying to sneak around, but the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards."
I'm just imagining.
And that's just Daniel.
I'm just
That's
imagining
you
really
can find
thick.
anything.
Really thick Galileo now.
Yes.
Just army crawling.
With his just massive butt just out there.
All right. So with that 27, that is, you're basically able to read her mind.
Okay.
What you get from that, as she's explaining everything, is from her, you get the feeling that she really hated her father.
Oh.
You get the feeling that maybe she had a bad childhood, and it was his doing / his fault, and she was happy to see him dead. And that is why, even though her father died her father and brother died less than a month ago, potentially in front of her, she does not seem like a grieving daughter.
Yeah, because, that seems a little bit interesting.
You get the feeling that maybe he was really abusive and controlling towards her, and weirdly, Japan has offered her more autonomy as the queen than she got as the princess, so she was willing to sell out the rest of the royal family for her own benefit.
Girl boss.
Girl bossing moment.
And she does kind of genuinely believe, you kind of you see that either she believes or was convinced that because of what happened with the failed invasion of Indochina, that it would be inevitable that either France or a combination of Britain and France would have just split Siam between them. So she thought it'd be better for Siam to stay whole and under the control of a fellow Asian power, as opposed to a foreign, what you consider a foreign European power from a world away.
That makes sense.
So, that is her perspective. Because basically she has a little bit more of a, I guess you'd call it a defeatist attitude. She's just no, we tried to be a strong Siam that failed so miserably that I either am or have been convinced that doing so ourselves is a complete fool's errand and will just get us slaughtered and split into pieces. So I want to keep my people united under an entity that has some level of respect for us, as you can think of fellow Asians, as opposed to Europeans who just see us as new slaves.
Okay.
Whether or not Japan would treat them much better than the other European powers, it's debatable, but she believes, you get the feeling she believes or has been convinced that working as a puppet under Japan would be better than being a flat-out colony between Britain and France. Because if you look at the map, I'll show you guys the quick map of Siam. So, the big red one is India, the little blue one is French Indochina, the little red one there is Siam. That red down there is also Britain. She's worried that Britain would want to connect that colony down there up to India, and then let France have the rest.
I got it.
That's kind of she pulls out a map and she's like, hey, I am afraid that this is what's going to happen to my country if I don't side with someone strong. And the only strong power who would be willing to potentially defend us from Britain and France is Japan.
I see.
So that's
Katarina
the way she
just
sees
like,
it.
I understand your position. It's just a very, I guess, unconventional method to take, I suppose.
I would consider it pragmatism. There is no good outcome for Siam, not after the actions my father took. Maybe we could have flown under... No, that wouldn't be a phrase. Maybe we could have just kept quiet and let the rest of the world continue to ignore us. But after the actions he took, there was no way that the rest of the world would have kept their sights off of us. It was inevitable that we were going to be under someone's thumb because of his actions and his foolish decisions. So I simply, instead of letting the conqueror come to us, I chose to go to them.
And I suppose that Japan is turning out to be a far better option, considering the backstabbing that other European powers have been partaking in of late.
France certainly can't be trusted, not after how they've treated Asian powers in the past, and far stronger ones than Siam, objectively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And the British already controlled the world's largest empire. I have no desire to add to the horde of the world's fattest dragon.
Mm-hmm. I mean, after all, why not side with, those of the East, so that way you can perhaps one day become large enough and powerful enough under Japan to actually fight back against those privileged ones.
And there are many culturally Siamese people who live in Indochina, British Malaysia, and India, so through my dealings with the Emperor and Admiral Masashi, it is hopeful that should Siam be able to recover and be useful to the Empire of Japan, we may even be able to expand our lands under their banner, should we not prove to be a burden.
Mm-hmm. I see. So you are fully willing then?
Yes, and I want to encourage my people to as well. It is our best bet to have any level of autonomy, as I feel, as we are not a colony of Japan, we are merely they're merely a suzerain. They are our protector, like a big brother, is the way I see it. Though you can also tell from talking to her, mechanically speaking, they're absolutely a puppet. She just doesn't want to use that word.
Oh, yeah, no, of course, yeah. Like, that's what she's saying without saying it.
Yeah, because she is the queen of Siam. Legally, everyone recognizes her as the queen. They don't have much...
the day-to-day.
The day-to-day. But if the Emperor of Japan says jump, she says how high. That's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm. But she is agreeing to this.
Yes. She controls Siam, but she is not the highest power. She is behind the scenes, very much subservient to the Japanese emperor, as that is part of their deal. And she feels this will prevent her country from being further split into pieces. And it looks like one of the hard deals she's already made from Japan is that should Indochina ever fall, Siam will get all of its lost territory back and maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also something you see is a lot of these Japanese soldiers, as they are arriving, it doesn't look like, even though it looks like everything's under control, they don't look like they're leaving. It looks like they're actually being sent to man positions in Siam, potentially for retaking the positions lost in the very brief conflict between Siam and Indochina.
I see. Though I imagine that there are people who were like your family who might not agree with the position you've taken.
Fools can never be convinced with reason.
Alright, so I think I'm going to call that good, seeing that she's down for this, though it's arguable whether or not this is a good choice for her, but
You can tell it's definitely a good choice for her personally.
Oh, yeah.
It's just whether, because she's the queen now.
Yeah. I mean, just like in general, for like, it's good for her, but it's questionable whether it is for her people.
Okay,
so.
Actually, I want to say something that Mishmash said, because I think he's very true. Simply finding the smallest thumb.
Yeah.
Or the lightest thumb to be under.
Yeah.
That's
So, thinking about the atrocities that...
Yep, so we'll cut back
Cut
to
back to
you
there.
bringing this to us.
And you tell of your conversation
Yeah.
with the queen.
Yeah.
So, I don't think what the soldiers have been documented as doing to the woman is necessarily condoned by the general government of Japan. I don't see any way that would be ever condoned, so we may want to bring that forward, possibly.
Do we know
Everything
how...
else I don't think we should talk about, because they're very powerful, could easily destroy us if we show any opposition to them.
Is it common knowledge about what Japan does?
No.
No, it's not? Okay,
No.
cool.
Japan is not letting any information leak out of the country. They have a tight grip.
I got you.
Because it's basically just like, the only way information could get out would be if somebody had a ship, and Japan is very much controlling the waters,
Yeah.
or if they could control a radio station, and Japan is very much in control of the radio
Yeah.
stations at this point. And if there were any they didn't control, they would bomb them.
So I'm not saying we should tell other people outside of Japan. I feel like we should bring up a grievance about the
Treatment of women to
the
Musashi.
treatment of a woman to at least Masashi.
Okay.
The best time to do that would be probably whenever you visit Japan.
Right,
Yeah.
when
Because-
we're in Japan.
Because also, these, what you're basically seeing is most of it was done by the Japanese army,
Yep.
and Masashi is the head of the navy, so you don't know what level of control he might have
Okay.
over that. The emperor, though, is above nobody. To the Japanese, during this time period, they see him as a literal god, like
Yep.
pharaoh style, so what he says goes for the most part. So if the emperor, if Masashi said it, depending on the perspective, the army might either go okay or might go okay. Just because you said it, we're going to do it even harder.
Well,
Yeah.
Because the army and navy sometimes hate each other.
Yeah, so
But if
it's,
the emperor
so,
says it, it's done.
so
Well,
it's not the Navy men. That's what I
No.
got mixed
Primarily
up.
the army.
It's the army,
Yes.
not the Navy. Okay.
But also a thing of bringing this up with Masashi could also tell us the how the general person within the military
Yeah, I
feels
do.
about
I
this.
do agree though that we should wait till we get to Japan to
Yes,
talk about
that,
it.
that
Put
would
that
be the
in
best
your
idea.
inventory,
Yeah.
like you have documents.
Mhm.
Yes. Now we're not. We're going to hide the documents of the other atrocities because that's not something we want to address because I feel like that would land us in hot water,
Yeah.
and we really cannot
And I
afford
mean, so
to deal
here's
with
here's
that.
the sad thing about war is that mass graves aren't exactly a new thing
No.
in war, and the way that Japan is handling rebels is also not really that uncommon.
No.
Mhm.
And
Especially because, and you get the feeling that Japan is doing this because they know that this country is going to be going to war again, and they don't want to say, like, invade French Indochina and then have a bunch of their supply depots burned by rebels
Yes.
and, basically have to fight a war on two fronts versus rebels and the French. So they're looking to get control as quick as possible in preparation for, as you can clearly tell, like, since you're here, Japan is garrisoning and bolstering the Siamese military to attack Indochina.
Yeah.
That's no surprise to you guys. You know that that's what Japan wants to do. Everyone knows that.
Absolutely.
Alright.
But and I think another major reason to bring up the poor treatment of Siamese women is just you want to have the best morale possible in a base that is actively going to war, and I feel like rampant mistreatment of the women is not
Especially
good.
now that they have a queen.
Yes. Okay, so that is your plan.
Yep.
Are you the next day going to leave for China, or are you going to spend a couple more days doing stuff in Siam?
Well, we
Did
have
we
our
do the party?
celebration.
Oh, yes,
We
yes,
have
they're
this
throwing a
party.
party for you. That's
Yeah.
right.
Mechanically, can that be a date?
Yes. Yes, it
Guess
can.
who's all going on dates today?
Sure, since you, I'll say that you get at least one slot of free time.
Yes.
And then you can either choose to sail for China and have the week be sailing, and you don't get any more free time, or you can get one more slot of free time, but then you're staying this week in Siam. So, you get at least one slot of free time, and I presume that'll be you guys taking your sirens to the party.
Date
Yes.
time.
Yeah, so that'll be a date for each of them.
All
I'm
right.
actually going to be spending some time with Masashi.
Yeah, you can take Masashi instead.
Is this a charm check for this
Yes.
I'm gonna be
it's
trying
a liked
to learn
date.
a dislike.
Okay, yes, you can also do that.
So I have something that I want. Is the part? Can I suggest maybe the party happening the next night instead
Sure,
of
that
during
evening,
the
yeah.
day? Jeez, it's thundering bad.
Yeah,
And
don't
it's
let it
already-
rain. I need
No,
it.
it's already rained.
Ugh.
We needed to do stuff outside that we can't do when it's wet.
Yeah.
It's like mow the lawn.
Like mow the
And
lawn,
fix
fix
the
the
roof.
Fix the
roof.
roof.
If you guys love us, you should head to our Patreon and pay us, so maybe
No.
we don't have to do this stuff ourselves.
We can fix the roof. But no, we're not drowning. It
No.
drips water and
In one place now. We have mostly fixed it. We just gotta put more of whatever that stuff was.
'cause I already bought the
there.
stuff I need to fix the roof. I just need it to be dry enough on a Monday so we can get up there and fix it. Because it's the only day that both me and Jared are available.
Yes.
Aside
Okay.
from today.
So that's from
But
today.
today's
But
important.
today we do
Today we do this.
But also, I still wouldn't be up there if there were this many clouds up on a metal roof.
Oh no, absolutely not. Yes, there are trees higher than us, but It's a metal roof.
Okay, you said you were inciting Masashi, trying to learn one of his dislikes?
Yes, and I do have an idea of what I'm going to be talking about. So I'm not going to directly bring up all the stuff we discovered, but I'm going to start laying the groundwork of, hey, keep an eye on your people and keep an eye on the military's people, because I think they might be getting a little route. Actually, yeah. So it's like, being here, it seems that you've done quite some good work here. Things have been going very well. Talked with the Queen of Siam, and she agrees. I've just noticed that certain soldiers have been a little bit rowdy, so you might want to keep an eye on your own men and make sure they don't follow suit with some of those others that are getting a little out of hand.
Since you are specifically looking for a dislike, it's like whenever you say that, there is just a furrowing of brow and narrowing of eyes. It's like, what do you mean, rowdy?
Oh, I don't know exactly, and of course, this is probably just rumors, giving myself plausible deniability. It just seems that some women shy away from some of the soldiers that have been coming in, so it seems that they're a bit afraid of them.
That better not be coming from Navy sailors. I think I give them enough to do that they don't have enough free time to engage in acquiring new diseases they can use to take time off. So first thing
a very interesting way to put that.
Dislikes sex.
No, Masashi dislikes. He has a strong dislike of laziness.
Oh wow.
So he just hears a. What do you mean they have enough time to be stupid? I thought I gave them enough to do.
That is so funny.
Yeah, that's also part of why he is so very much like work. Because he has a dislike of laziness, and he is not a hypocrite. So that is why Masashi is, that way. Because it's like some people have made joke before, that Masashi's a salary man. It's like the reason he acts like that is because he has a dislike of laziness, and he's not a hypocrite. Yeah. So that's why, he feels like if he, as an admiral, should work several times harder than his men, but he works them so hard that it makes him have to do a monstrous amount of work himself. He's feeling that as an admiral, he leverages, there's something you guys don't necessarily do, I assume. It's technically, if you needed to, you could probably go several days without sleep without it negatively impacting you too much. Masashi pushes that to a limit. Oh, no. He looks like he sleeps, 1 to 3 times a week.
Oh, man. Masashi's pulling a Russian sleep experiment.
Yeah, he's just go. That is how Masashi is. So you saying that it's just you get the feeling that there's going to be an officer meeting and it calls I've heard that there's been rowdiness. I have heard that you've maybe been engaging in unsanctioned extra work activities. Have I not given you enough to do?
So you just want to make sure that your sailors aren't getting too close to some of the soldiers I've been seeing. They seem to be the ones who are encouraging that sort of behavior.
Oh, the army marches on its stomach and sleeps the other half of the time. I can't speak for the army and the level of discipline in there. I can keep as good a hold as I can on the Marines since they fall mostly under the Navy. I can't speak to any of the Army's actions or inactions. Lazy sods.
So yes, you might want to just make sure they're not learning too much from the soldiers then, because I've noticed they've been a little rowdy.
Absolutely not. There should never be even a comparison between the soldiers of the Imperial Japanese Navy and of the Army. Again, you get the feeling Masashi and because the Navy in general and the Army don't get along.
Yes.
Which I'm doing that because it's historically accurate and because it's funny. Because in the actual timeline, they hated each other. And I don't mean they competed. They hated each other. The Army and Navy were basically like 2 starving dogs fighting for the last 3 pieces of kibble in a bowl.
So yes, now I'm laying the groundwork.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good.
So we can rest assured that it's not Masashi's
at least
people.
Masashi seems like he doesn't like it just because he doesn't like his men to be lazy.
He doesn't want to give. If it's up to him, they're not going to have enough free time to do that.
Right. Is that a sleeping sailor? Eyes glow red.
I just imagine an image of a very comfy sleeping sailor, and then in the background is Masashi silhouetted
holding his sword
with glowing red eyes.
No, here's exactly what I'm imagining it. It's like inside of like a bunk. There's like a bunch of sailors all sleeping peacefully, and it's just the doors thrown open. There's a horned silhouette from the light behind leading in the room, and just So you're taking breaks now. I see that you still haven't learned your lesson.
Oh, that's great.
So he pushes the Navy very hard. Partially also to be better than the Army. So part of his rivalry is like, I'm going to push you so hard that everyone's going to think the Navy is better because I think it is.
Yep, got it.
That makes sense. I got it.
Alright, you guys take your turns now.
Yes.
Alright.
So I want to, for the party, I want to get Giovanna some traditional Siam clothing to wear to the party.
If you ask for it, it will be provided to you.
Oh, I don't even have to pay for it?
No. They would not let you.
Like, I can keep it?
Yes.
This is part of the celebration.
Mm-hmm. If you say, like, hey, I want to have some, Siamese clothes to wear to the party, it'll just be a say no more. They will bring in a tailor and they will get you measured and get you and or Giovanna something.
It's a cultural exchange.
That's so cool, though.
I mean, we're also giving like 1K worth of stuff to them.
To be
so.
fair, I was planning on spending some money.
No.
That's awesome. I'm still totally okay with saving money now.
Yep. So it's just straight up, they would not let you pay for this.
Mechanically, would
wow.
that count as a gift, though?
Of course, if you see him you see or hear him getting one, and you ask for one, it will be provided.
Yeah, does this count as a gift?
Yes.
Okay, sick.
You just don't have to pay for it due to other factors.
Okay, so how much do I get for a gift?
I would count it as a gift that is worth 3.
3? So 3 points?
4 because you're Italian.
Sick. Where is it?
And you may add to your inventory either a suit, or like traditional Siamese like prince attire or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you really got
I've been
a lot of
going
RP.
at it. Well, to be fair, Giovanna is medium.
Yeah.
So.
Although, to be fair, I'm pretty sure my... What?
Crimson in the chat. The sailors have learned to sleep less hours and still be functional out of fear.
They're only functional because of the constant adrenaline rush of being around Masashi.
Mm-hmm.
What if we all just got dressed up?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
It's literally because this isn't on Japan's dime. This is on Siam's dime at the order of Japan. So they will just give you what you want because it's basically like they see you as good, important friends of their new overlord, and they know that making you happy will probably make Japan happy. So they're almost as scared of you as they are of Japan. So they will give you what you want within reason.
I'm gonna get an outfit for Aurelius. Too.
So I'm gonna gift Lorelei an outfit real quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many points does that get me?
It would be 3 plus 1, 4. So each of you who choose to take up their hospitality can give your siren a gift that'd be worth 3 or 4 points, unless they have like a specific of like fashion or clothes. But I don't think any of them do.
No, but I get a male outfit for Giovanna.
Yeah, it'd be
because she's gender non-conforming.
Yes.
So
yeah.
So it'd just still be 4.
Yeah, still be 4. Yeah. So it would be. I'm sure that they have some kind of like specific Siamese male like noble garb of some kind.
I was actually looking up stuff, and it's very again it's Taiwan, Siam, it's Asia, so
Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean still Asian. They're all very similar.
My current RP is
Clothing.
73.
Nice.
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And you'll cap out at 79.
Okay.
Yes.
In terms, Japan's your sugar daddy.
Well, in Siam, yes.
Yes, Crimson. Yeah, pretty much.
So yes, each of you can use your gifts. And what were each of you planning to do to actually use your free time? Because getting the gifts doesn't use up your free time.
I'm gonna hang out and schmooze Lorelei with my charm.
Yep, so that'll be charm. You need to be a DC 12.
16.
Okay.
I rolled exactly 12, but I got a +4.
So you are going to be able to gain RP with her. So what are you going to do at the party? Are you going to, like, take her dancing? Is you going to, like, wine and dine her? Like, sample a lot of the food?
Let's do dancing.
Okay, yeah, you can, they will absolutely have, like, a big... not exactly ballroom kind of dancing because it's Asia, but there will be some form of dancing because all humans dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'll be some form of dancing, and basically you two can learn like some traditional Thai dances together, and you have a really good time learning to dance. Even like learning to dance with her body being kind of different than yours, and she's kind of a little bit taller whenever she's not like slouching or crouching or anything.
Yeah.
But the two of you, with your charm and your generally high body, you are able to, over the course of the night, actually figure it out. And you actually end up painting a very nice scene. And people kind of like clap when they see you dance. And it's a very public thing. And he's like, oh, that's interesting. Though also now people are going to think that Italian sirens look like praying mantises. Because why would they know any different?
Because we have two others that look angels.
Oh, yeah, the
You're
thing
not
about like the
doing anything
graders.
public.
That is true.
It's like, it's weird the small ones are angels and the big ones are bugs. Don't know how that works. Oh well.
I guess Italians
we
are just
don't-
bug people.
We don't have Mother Rosari.
No,
She's
you don't.
busy at home.
Busy at home keeping the friendship bay with her glorious stare.
We didn't bring Mother Rosario on this trip at all?
No, because first of all,
we
she's
need
also
to make sure France doesn't get us.
That is fair.
she's
fair.
actually a part like a major military thing. I believe she outranks us
Yeah.
technically,
I think
and
so.
Almost,
we
yeah.
were leaving major
Okay.
firepower
I
to
got
keep the
you.
French from attacking.
Okay, makes sense. Makes
Because
sense.
Mother Rosaria and the flagship are being left at home along with a lot of cruisers. Just so France doesn't see any moment of weakness.
I
We
got
did
you.
take some important people with us, actually.
Yes.
Did we take... The Pope isn't with us.
No.
No, but
We
the
took some
regent
nobles.
is.
No.
No. Oh, just, I thought...
Representatives.
Just representatives.
You would have it'd be a whole thing if the regent was leaving the country.
Okay. No, they were just there at the little conversation thing
Yeah,
Yes.
to
that
help
we had.
arrange the party.
Yes.
The diplomatic party.
If the Pope, regent, or king are ever to leave the country, that's going to be a whole thing.
Right.
I think it would be fun to have like a whole like time off, seeing what those people do on their time off.
And what are you doing with your
I
time,
also am
Dave?
doing date things with
All
my
right.
girl.
Oh yeah, how much RP? Because this is like
5.
5.
Oh wait, it's a like date.
Yeah,
I
she
think
likes
that's
partying.
10.
Oh, yeah, you're right. She does like partying. 10 points then, but again, you cap out at 79.
All right, so I'll just put it at 79.
Yep. So you cap out now at 79. You can't gain more RP with her until you complete her quest.
I did that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, your vacation did the brunt of the work for that. You spent
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot, and you did a very good liked vacation.
Speed running love.
Yes.
Okay. I am also doing date things.
Mhm.
For me, it is not a liked date, unfortunately.
So are you also doing dancing? Are you doing more like food, or do you want to like do more like meeting people? Because
I'll be
it's a
right
party
back.
with a bunch of like I guess the like nobles of
Yeah.
Siam.
I'm trying to think, because, like,
'Cause the things I can think of immediately would be meeting people, food, or dancing would all be prominent features of any major party.
I think maybe dancing, because I don't think she would like new food, and I also don't think she would like meeting new people.
Mhm. That's fine.
I don't think she would like either of those things. So I think we'll
Oh,
probably...
you could also say that during the party there are like shows and entertainments. Maybe they have like an elephant doing tricks or something like that. You could take her to
I'll take her see an elephant doing tricks, dude.
Yeah, because Siam is very well known for having elephants in the nation. So.
Nat 20.
Absolutely. Okay. So let me first make sure that doesn't fall under any likes of
I don't
Giovanna's.
think so.
Right, because you have all of them.
Yeah, I
so.
have all of them. She likes horror, makeup, and bowling.
Yeah, so none of that is going to be here, and her hobbies hunting, and they're not doing any of that here.
Well, yeah, we're not going to hunt the elephant.
No. But I will say, what? Let me see if you get anything extra.
Oh, I didn't realize he left. I thought someone broke into our
No,
house.
it's red. It's red. Don't worry.
I got scared.
Okay, you're not going to get anything extra for the natural 20, but it will be a full 6 points.
I didn't realize you got up.
I'm so sorry.
For all those, I'm not gonna say until it exactly out of the house, but there's a back door technically that doesn't lock. It has a separate door that does lock in front of it, but also there's technically a key in there somewhere to open that door. And so Laurel just thought somebody broke into the house when she heard Red coming through the door.
Yeah, I thought you guys left it unlocked or something.
Oh no, I have a habit of locking both the locks on it.
We
You've
know
gotten
that
very
now.
good at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much so that you locked Calvin out the other day.
I managed to get around to
Yeah,
another door,
yeah.
so okay. But yeah, so basically, like, what amuses you the most is you basically say like, oh, do you have any like any entertainment, so you can entertain my siren? They're just like, oh yes, with the Royal Circus can perform for you if you'd like. And basically, like, you get taken out to a place, and they have some of like the royal elephants like do like a little parade and do some little tricks for you. There's one of them that could like lift things and like lift people, and there's even one of them I'm gonna say that like she paints you a little picture.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's obviously like it's an animal's picture and it's very crude, but like they have an elephant paint you a little picture.
That's awesome.
So then like get the elephants do some neat things.
Yeah.
Nothing that would like put stress on them or anything. It would just like basically these are elephants. Look at them.
They're so cool.
Mhm.
I have 59 out of 100 RP.
Ah, you're 1 point away from getting to level 3 then.
Ooh.
Which I believe you've already completed your quest.
Well, technically I did.
Yes, you
but
did.
there's like extra steps to the quest because like technically it was just finding out what happened to the
Yes.
friend. Like, and we found out friend went missing in the war. I want to try to find that friend.
Yeah, so you've done what you need to complete the quest for level 3, but all of those loose ends are going to be tied into their second quest
Yeah.
later. And that's when everything will get resolved.
Yeah. So I'm already starting to work towards finding them.
So I'll just tell you that will be part of their quest for you to get to level 5.
Lorelei's quest is difficult because it
It is.
involves fighting something that
Greater
we don't
Sirens-
want to fight right now.
Greater Sirens are always more difficult, period.
Mhm.
Because making them more powerful is a bigger deal.
Yeah.
So, you guys all have a great time at the party doing all the various things you want to put your minds to, learning more about Masashi and hopefully getting him on your side with everything you've learned.
Laying the groundwork.
Laying the groundwork, entertaining Giovanna. I'll give just a little bit of just like whenever like she's watching tricks, it's like, oh look at him, look at that big dumb animal do things. Oh, it's
That's
doing
awesome.
stuff like a human.
Oh, that's
I'm so entertained right now. Make it do more tricks. Yes, have it pick me up. I want to be lifted up in the air. Yeah.
That's just
I
so
want you
funny.
to know I almost spit all over your computer.
I also want you to know that I hate that drink. I wanted a sip of water with some Mio in it, but no, I got green tea. Ugh.
And you have a nice time learning dances with Laurelie. Are all of you going to leave the next day then? Or do you want to spend your second slot of free time in Siam?
Somebody else.
I think we've done everything we need to do here. We've busybodied ourselves enough.
Right.
We have some dangerous information now that could make our friends upset. But
And now
what
we
is-
go to China.
What is friends without spying on them, right?
Right.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go get a drink that is not gross.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I think we're gonna continue on to
Okay.
China then.
Okay, so are you going, since you have spent half of the week in Siam, the only part of China you could make it to this week would be the southern Chinese warlords. You don't have enough time to go all the way to where the west would meet you.
Well, I wanted
Say
to
we
talk
do
to them
south
first,
first.
anyway.
Yeah, so the southern Chinese warlords would be the ones led by the Admiral Empress Li Bai. So, it's going to be a week of sailing, but you'll be in friendly coastal waters, so I don't expect anything to happen. So, Red, I'll have you do it. Roll me a d4 for the weather, just to make sure. It's currently calm since you did dock in port. Okay, yeah, it's, it's currently shining sun. So it's currently very nice outside, but just a little hot. Though it does cool down just by a couple of degrees, so it's back to being a very comfortable temperature. Now roll me a D100.
Mhm.
Well, I pull up 36. That is almost certainly smooth sailing. I'm not even gonna look. You're in friendly coastal waters. That is smooth sailing. Because I think you have to roll like in the single digits or like above a 95 to get an encounter in friendly coastal waters.
Oh, no.
So yeah,
Get
36.
Nautical nonsense.
Yes, you get a nautical nonsense. So roll me a D4 and then a D100 while I go to the chart.
Back on the
400.
open.
410.
That's probably not anything bad.
I really enjoy nautical nonsense, especially when I have to deal with it.
Okay. Okay, here we go. And it was 410?
Yes.
Okay. Not world events, we'll get to that later. 410. Alright, so this could be funny no matter who I want this to be. Oh, you're
I
volunteering?
volunteer.
Okay, So, when I say a sailor in the fleet who you remember, who's the first person that comes to mind?
The sick dude.
The sick dude?
Yeah, the one that got sick. Remember him?
Mm-hmm. Remind me again?
It was, I believe it was an officer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the one who drank themselves sick.
Yes, the one that drank themselves sick.
The depressed one.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I'm going to say that you wanted to check up on him.
Yes.
And you ask around the fleet to try and, check up on him and see how he's doing. Nobody knows who you're talking about.
What? No, what? What?
It's like they're just like, sorry, sir, we don't know who that is. You try and look up his records, you can't find them.
What? Where is he? I know for a fact he was part of us.
Can't find him.
What do I gotta do?
Roll me a wit check, I guess.
Oh my god. I may actually use some pearls on this.
No, I don't.
21. I got a nat 20.
So, with your nat 20, you are able to tell that for some reason, every record of him serving in the Navy is completely missing.
Did this man get into protective services? What's going on?
No idea. And nobody you talk to seems to remember him.
Can I call back to the mainland?
You can ask, and they report back that just like, nope, sorry, like the next day, sorry, Admiral, we don't have any records of a officer by that name serving in the Navy in the last several decades.
Did he get eaten by that whale from ReZero? What the hell?
You don't know. You know that there are some monsters out in the waters that can cause people to be forgotten, but you don't remember running into any such creature.
And
Well,
why would it not
obviously-
affect me?
Maybe you made a saving throw you didn't know.
You
didn't know about.
I'm gonna
happened?
go and intimidate some people.
I'm not even gonna have you roll for it. It's like no matter how much you shake people, they're just like, I'm sorry, Admiral, I don't know who that is.
I liked him.
God, if I knew.
Hold on. I know about his family. I know he would know his name. I'm going to have someone search the last name and find this man's family.
Okay, so whenever you get a report back about sending someone to investigate that, they report that he was reported missing about 10 years ago.
What? Did I talk with a ghost?
I don't know. Did
But
you?
he was in the infirmary.
He was in the
And
infirmary.
he was getting treated by.
I talked to the doctor about that specific day. What the hell? Okay, I'm talking. I asked him, "Hey, do you remember this day that I talked with the sailor who drank himself sick? You were there."
Okay, let me roll for that. Let's see if he remembers that. Oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. What's the deal? No one else can remember him, and the only
remember him.
the only record I have found of his
That's
existence,
forgettable.
he died 10 years ago.
No, he didn't. He was in the infirmary a couple weeks ago.
Yes, that is my point. Where is he?
I don't know, Admiral. I don't run the crew quarters. I just remember treating him.
I feel like I'm going insane.
Find the medical records from that day.
Give me the medical records from that day.
Oh, sure, gladly.
No HIPAA yet.
Just like,
Yeah.
You're
oh,
the Admiral.
here was the admittance report for that day. Why isn't he here?
Oh God!
I wrote this report.
Yes, you.
Yes, you did.
So, yes, you
I
did.
signed it. Who altered my report? I wrote this. He was on here. It has my signature. What the hell? He's just seeing this as like a filing issue. It's like, who changed my records? Who changed?
Again, do I have my own little records that are saying this sailor died 10 years ago? No.
You don't have any records of him being in the Navy?
Oh.
Oh, he
He
wasn't
wasn't
even
a
in the Navy.
sailor? What was he?
I don't know. Maybe he was in the Navy for less than 10
10
years.
years ago.
Is it over 10 years
Over
ago?
10
It doesn't
years
say.
ago.
So it's probably before he was in the Navy because he wasn't a super high-ranking officer.
But he didn't die. He was here.
He was like, was he old? Like,
No,
he was
No.
like normal aged guy.
30s to 40s.
So wait, over 10 years ago,
It could have been a family member.
what if it was like his dad or something who
Right.
has the same name?
What is going on?
I don't know.
I'm investigating further somehow.
Yeah, you can do that in your free time later.
Okay,
Oh my god.
also, this isn't. You don't know that she reacted this way, but I'm super curious if Giovanna knows that or remembers him because she got really mad.
You can ask.
The whole
But I don't know about
ship
this.
remembers
Oh, yeah.
about it.
Oh, yeah.
I should know about that, right?
No,
Yeah.
you don't know about
No.
that.
No,
You don't
actually,
know-
no, you don't.
Yeah, you. I never told you how Giovanna was.
I
outraged.
would bring this up to you guys, though. In fact, I'm calling a meeting because
Sure.
one of my sailors has gone fucking missing.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm calling a meeting. Let's roleplay it
The
out.
more of a random man.
Hey,
You ready
Spirits
us?
walk among us.
one of my sailors has gone missing. And all of his documents have gone missing. Here and in the mainland. I don't know what's going on.
Did he know classified secrets?
He was like not even that high of an officer. It was just like, what? Not a very high level ranking officer. He wouldn't know anything we didn't know.
Oh.
And people are denying they knew him. The only person who seems to know of his existence the way I do is the doctor that was present when I was helping him through his issues. Back at
Oh,
home.
really depressed guy.
Yes. Why? What?
Actually, want each of you to roll me a wit check.
Oh,
Do
no!
we remember?
I was
Do
about
we
to say.
remember him or did we forgore?
It's a good question.
I don't want to forgore
I have a
him.
DC in mind.
Forgore? Oh, I don't think I forgore.
No, you both remember him.
25! Yay!
Oh yes, I remember him. Think I helped donate some money to him. Where
You
did that?
donated money
Is
for
there a
it?
paper trail?
Because I thought I did like a little bit of a charity thing while I was on board, didn't I, for him?
No, that was just more for
Oh,
sailors
that was
in
something
general.
else.
Yeah,
Never
that
mind.
was sailors in general. That was
Yeah.
veterans. You
Yeah.
did it for veterans.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
So nobody knows him aside from the doctor?
I've spoken with everyone who would have known him.
So don't get
Can I
offended.
channel his spirit with my psychic?
Oh,
No.
You can try.
So
I'm a psychic, you know. I can speak with the spirits. Give me a moment.
don't get offended by anything that Giovanna is about to say when I call her in here.
What?
I called Giovanna to come in while she's being stupid.
What? This is what I do. I'm a psychic.
I don't believe you. Anyway,
Giovanna,
You will.
Yeah.
do you remember that very depressed, sad man who got drunk?
Ugh.
Oh wait.
I wanted to forget him, but no, I have not forgotten him. Why?
23.
Well, everyone else has, aside from the doctor.
I can see why. Who'd want to remember him?
Even the government records show that he doesn't exist.
That's weird. Paper's not usually that forgetful.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't everyone. I wanted to make sure some people still remembered that he existed.
Yeah, no, I remember ranting about it.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
23. Do the spirits speak to me?
No!
So,
What do I get from the spirits?
okay, so what are you doing to try and channel them?
Let's see here. What does Giovanna, or not Giovanna, what do I have? Oh, I've got a 7.
This is important.
I'm sorry, just taking a sip for courage. So basically, she's trying to find the energy.
I think you're in GM mode.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, because you can see his dice roll.
Oh, damn, I'm sorry.
I thought I
wasn't-
specifically got it out of GM mode.
I joined as player.
Remember,
I
you
didn't
closed
see
it.
I didn't. Oh yeah, I
You
accidentally
closed it, and so you had to
closed
open it again, and it made you go into...
I hate
DM
when it
mode.
does that. Why do you do
Mhm.
that? Whatever. Okay, but do whatever you'd like, even though I saw it, because that
Mhm.
doesn't affect anything. So basically, I'm going to try and find the energy of this spirit, and going to like kind of ghost hunters it. a little
wait, do
bit.
you actually have some sort of psychic
Are you
abilities?
actually psychic, or is this a bit?
Or
That
is this
is
a bit?
that is a good question. We're gonna find out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so.
Which
So I
one?
go to your. Everybody, come on, let's go. We're going to your ship. Or no, you called us to your ship. I go to the infirmary
Yes.
to channel the powers of the spirits.
Uh-huh. I just need to know how. Because I have one of 3 ways this can go down.
I'm not using a Ouija board. I do not have one of those.
I hate Ouija boards.
What are some? summoning ghosts.
You do a silly little
Just off the top of your
dance.
head.
Off the top of my head, I'm basically going to like sit and just try and like have the energies come to me and trying to interpret the energies around me as like inviting them in. Just like tell me your story. Where have you gone? Where have you been?
That's a good idea.
Roll me a wit check.
Okay.
You don't get to add anything to this. Just
That's fine. That's fine. It wouldn't be fun if I didn't do this. Go. 5.
Perfect. So,
And we clear out everybody else from the infirmary, including the doctors.
what you two see is that she's doing some funny mumbo-jumbo channeling stuff. Are your eyes open or closed?
They're closed.
Cool. You don't really see any distinct change, except that her nose starts bleeding, her head tilts slightly to one side, and she passes out.
What the fuck just happened? Are you? Oh my god! It's a good thing we're in the infirmary, doctor.
After a couple minutes, they're able to wake you back up with some smelling salts.
Uh-huh. Oh god, sniffing.
You don't want to sniff those, Laurel.
Oh, I know. Alright, what did I experience?
So whenever you try to focus on the man and think about him really, really hard and channel his energies and I quote, open yourself up to all of the energies around you,
Oh.
you felt a different presence
Uh-oh.
lurk and touch onto your mind, and what powers you do have as an admiral just reflexively, it's basically like a computer sensed that it was about to overheat and shut itself off.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Alright.
Roll me another wit check. This is just to see if you can interpret what happened.
Uh-huh. Alright,
Can
let
the
me see
rest
if-
of us roll a wit check?
I don't,
Nope.
I don't think I have any occult
'Cause this happened in
abilities,
her
but let me
brain.
take a
That's
look
true.
just to see if there's anything that can help me with this.
I highly doubt it.
I know, but I'm just gonna take a quick look.
It's not a cult.
Oh, I meant like something. Yeah, no, I don't think any of that will help me. I
Nope.
just had to check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, roll. What is it?
4. Yeah, you have no idea what that was. So, you don't have a way of figuring that out. So,
Okay.
the only thing you get the feeling is that when you tried to reach out to his spirit, something else had it. And you don't want to touch it again.
Spirit is in a dark place.
I'm sorry. What?
I think we need. Do we have a priest on board? I say with like tissue stuck up my nose.
You don't get the feeling that it was demonic.
Oh, not demonic.
No.
Oh, what did it feel like?
More like a monster. This world has really dark, deep oceans, and bad things live there. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you know of that has the ability to affect human minds are krakens.
Krakens.
No!
Have we just encountered a kraken?
No, you probably encountered one several weeks ago that was sneaky enough to get away with it.
My guy was eaten by a crack. Oh.
Probably. Song of Sirens world sucks. Sorry that NPC is dead.
Oh my god.
He is not important enough that he would be saved from a random nautical nonsense killing him. It takes a world event to kill the Pope. It takes a random nautical nonsense to kill sailor number
I
37.
believe there is a dark energy that has touched our ship. I think we need to do something. I don't know why I say with like tissues up my nose to stop the bleeding. I don't know what we should do to protect ourselves from this. My psychic abilities do not extend that far. But there is something dark and evil that has touched us.
You do know that krakens are known to live in this area.
Yeah.
Man.
So could I just surmise the kraken thing?
Yeah,
It's
you've
like-
heard stories of them taking people off of ships, so...
I don't know what our anti-kraken warfare capabilities are.
It's being a bit more mindful and not getting snatched off a boat by a tentacle.
Maybe we should run some safety drills.
Maybe. I'm going to go and inspect whether or not any of our other sailors have mysteriously disappeared that I may know about.
If they had, you wouldn't have record of them.
So wait.
Anybody
so
I
getting-
can remember, though?
There are literally thousands of them.
That's true.
So wait, getting eaten by a kraken gets rid of actual physical evidence of a person?
Maybe. They haven't been investigated thoroughly, because they're super dangerous and they're a threat to even capital ships.
It sounds like maybe that's something we should do when we're super powerful.
You can hunt krakens should you ever want to.
If you would like to hunt down a kraken, can you please let me stay home? That hurt.
Well, maybe if you don't open yourself up to energies outside your command.
I was trying to help.
With your bullshit psychic shtick?
I don't think it was so bullshit.
I kind of agree now that I've seen.
Actually, I might have Giovanna just pop in. Maybe hers is bullshit, but I don't think the Kraken's is.
Yeah. Mitch Mash. Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Right. Also, I love how at close to the beginning of us starting this whole shtick, Mitch Mash said, "This is getting deep for a nautical nonsense," and yes.
Nautical nonsense goes as deep as you want it to. You could have just said, "Oh, that's weird," and we would have moved on. It depends on how much you want to do with it.
Well, it was a guy I liked.
Too bad, he's dead.
He's dead.
And erased from existence.
Oh my god, I thought it was like that thing from ReZero.
Yeah, I guess
the
it is
whale
kind of
thing.
similar, yeah.
We're not inventing nukes. Nukes don't exist in this world.
Nope, it's more fun that way. All right.
We're gonna shoot it with a gun.
Yep.
All right,
Everyone should.
Now, you will end this week as you pull into the Chinese capital of Nanjing. So, we're moving on to the next week. Does that... No, it's not a new month yet.
No,
Next week it will be a new month.
Yay.
It's the 30th, so... So I don't know if there are 31 days in July or not, but there's at least 30. Excuse me. So, because I know that you have already told China in advance that you're coming, so they know to expect you. So, what I need is... So, as all of you are pulling into the port of Nanjing, and this is a very, very large city. In terms of population, it honestly looks like it might be able to rival or exceed Rome itself.
Oh, wow.
So this is a huge port city, and it looks like it is very heavily defended. Even more so than Siam, because this city looks like not only is it ready for an attack, it is expecting one to come. There, you kind of actually have to travel like from the ocean, then up a river a little bit to get to the city, and it's like all up the river there are forts and coastal guns and AA emplacements, and you even see, like, as you get close, like, some of the Chinese Air Forces overhead kind of escorting you in. And as you land, there is a delegation waiting for you. And as you land, you kind of assemble. A procession comes out, carrying one of those, I think it's called, like a sedan, where you see a woman with long, lustrous black hair, and what almost looks like a cross between horns and antlers coming out of her head, and long, pointed ears. And I believe she has red eyes, being carried by several people as she approaches and steps down, using two of her own people as step stools to get down from her sedan, as she has this big dress, what looks like real furs covering the ring of it, as she approaches all of you in an extremely regal manner. You can hear from her footsteps that she's wearing high heels and has painted nails and is wearing a lot of gold jewelry and has this very, like, haughty look on her face.
Very decadent.
Very decadent. She looks extraordinarily wealthy. Let me check, because I want to give you her general height, because I have down her canon height as well.
Mitch Mesh says, do not the danger elf. I will the danger elf. No.
Good for you too. She has RP for a reason. And she is, you get the feeling that without her heels, she would be 5'11", but she's probably more like...
She's tall.
Yeah, yes. And that is not including the antlers.
Oh, wow.
And look, she towers over her subjects. Like, almost every single, like, guard and soldier here, she is at least a full head taller than them. She towers over these people, and they are treating her with extreme reverence. Like, they're just, like, bowing and kowtowing to her. It's like, there's actually a setup where she's going to be walking some short distance to meet you, and there's sailors lined up on either side in a line, and as she reaches and steps towards each one, they do a full from standing to kowtow in one
wow.
solid motion in front of her as she is having this procession, as she is coming to meet you. And it makes a very powerful impression. And somehow she is even timed, right as she reaches you, a flight of 5 aircraft in a V formation fly overhead, each of them flying a Chinese flag. Okay. How she timed that exactly, you have no idea, because you didn't see those aircraft until they showed up. And yeah, with her heels on, she looks to be at least 6'2", 6'3"-ish.
Wow.
And I have a special surprise for all of you.
Ooh, that's a
Surprise.
So, go ahead and move us to the battle map.
All right.
Oh, snap. I love battle maps.
All right. This is what I've got. Show
Yes. Now, let's go to the tab that has Roll20 in it. Now, this should be in GM mode, right? Oh, actually, no, I need to change it on my end. So, yes, because that is what because it's the same map that all of you guys as players are on, right?
Yep.
Good. So that means that thing should be in player mode.
Right, because I think isn't that logged into your account?
It's logged into mine.
So we
Perfect. So this is, so it should change where all of you can see, and then the chat can also see.
Hold on, I gotta.
Ooh.
Oh, where'd you get that?
We
Oh, you got
have
a secret commission?
I
and
got
you
a
didn't
secret
tell me?
commission for her!
You didn't tell me?
I did not! I set up a business PayPal so I don't have to ask for your permission to buy stuff.
Oh my!
You didn't set up a second business PayPal, just the one we do.
Just the one I already know.
Oh, okay, just the one we already have. Got it. Wow.
I love Crimson!
Oh gosh.
Oh Lord, she's hot! Oh Lord, she's hot!
Wow!
Oh wow.
Oh,
Matt,
wow.
you need to make it where we can see her full badonkerage.
Yeah. Scroll down a little
Okay,
bit, Calvin
okay.
or Jared, whoever. Give us
It was a little bit more to the south.
We
Give
need
us
a
a
we need a
little
little.
The
we
chat
need,
demands it.
right, we need a little
Yeah,
bit
there you
more
go.
badonkerage.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, too far. Yeah.
Alright.
It's a little bit more north.
All right, I'm gonna scroll back up so we can see more of her face.
Yeah, just like right in the middle, right in the
You
middle.
just don't have all that the gray bar at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
You almost had it for perfectly. There, yeah, that's good. That's good.
See ya.
Everyone, oh my
Crimson
god!
is mismatched. Oh, even Crimson.
Oh man.
Welcome to China, boys.
So
Right?
I imagine that you guys are looking
I'm
Listen,
looking very
looking
hard.
disrespectfully.
I personally,
100%.
I personally might be super gay and into men, but goddamn, I can appreciate some badonkerage.
Mhm.
So,
She's
All right.
pretty. I want to be her girlfriend.
Also,
Yeah.
screams and Sims.
Mhm.
Admirals are non-monogamous,
Yeah.
so it's okay if I quote unquote cheat on Lorelai.
Okay, and I want to say this, just like to clarify it for the chat, and because this is just something all the admirals would already know. So, in most countries, in order to make more sirens, they have the sirens, who are primarily female, copulate with male admirals to make more sirens. This is whenever an admiral and a siren have a child together, that is the highest chance to spawn a new siren, and that's how a lot of nations fill out their ranks of minor sirens, and the admirals summon the greater ones.
yeah, but domesticated sirens,
Mhm.
aka ones who have been tamed,
Mhm.
they can't breed with each other,
No,
basically.
they
It's
can't.
kind of like a mule,
Sort
right?
of like that, in a sense. Except if mules could still breed with horses or something.
Right.
So, most countries do that. Japan especially is very well known for doing that. And that's how most nations fill out their ranks of minor sirens. But in Italy, that is illegal, as sirens have full human rights, so keeping them in there and making them make more sirens as admirals that would violate their human rights. It's illegal in Italy, but it's commonplace in the other major nations to some degree. You don't know. Obviously, you've heard horror stories, but you would be, as Italians, you'd be propagandized to be told the worst possible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't know for sure. You could find out whenever you go to Japan, but you don't know exactly how bad it is. Well, actually, no. You know how bad it is for French sirens, and
We
it's
do.
Yes.
exactly as bad as you were propagandized to think it was. You don't know how true that is for everywhere else. So, here is the thing, though. In Italy, though, they don't do that because that's illegal and they respect sirens too much. But they still need sirens? And getting them is not easy, especially when they don't have 3 full-blooded admirals at the same time, because that's very rare.
Yeah.
They usually have maybe one, and even then, the one that they had previously was an old man. So his body was starting to decline and need body to summon sirens. He couldn't fast out in the wilderness for a couple weeks as easily as you 3 young admirals can.
Yeah.
So, because Italy both refuses to do breeding programs and because they still need sirens, and they want to have them because having them makes the Navy look good and they can use them for propaganda and all kinds of stuff, what the church has given a special a special rule for admirals that for admirals, effectively, it's can you have I'll just say premarital sex? No, that is still against the rules of the church. Can you marry? But basically, it's and is polygamy legal? No, it's still not legal. But if you are an admiral and you marry a siren, that doesn't count towards your one. It basically that doesn't count.
Because
So-
Sirens don't count.
They don't count.
It's like marrying God for nuns.
Yes. So it's just so you're only allowed to have one spouse
Human
who
wife.
is a human or other admiral.
Mhm.
But if they are a full-blooded siren, you are an admiral. Doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Also, everyone.
The church does that specifically just to encourage there to be more admirals and sirens, because if they didn't, the bloodlines would dry up. There just would not be enough.
Right, because I imagine that we're, because you don't count, you're American.
Mhm.
I imagine that we're probably the first full-blooded admirals to be born in a long time.
A long time. It's
Right?
very rare. Honestly, it was what Italy considers it a literal act of God that it had 3 full-blooded admirals at the same time. Because there's only one other nation that has that right now, and that is Britain.
Mhm.
The strongest nation is the only one who can match your numbers of full admirals. And Germany was able to, if not for the fact that one of their key admirals had to retire due to grievous injuries in the Great War.
Mhm.
They lost a limb and it took them out of it, so.
Makes sense. But yeah, so we're miracles.
Yes.
You're just here.
I mean, I'm a miracle too because
You were
they managed to
imported.
have
You're
someone.
You were
imported.
imported.
Yeah.
No, they didn't know what they were
You were
importing when you got
adopted.
here. There was, I think, probably about an 85% chance that you would have been human, but whenever you were born an admiral, it was basically Italy, yes, they gambled and they won.
Right?
Because my mama came here pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So that is the official rules for. So most countries, they will vary from we don't care, sleep with as many sirens as you want, all the way varying to you have a quota, make more.
Yep.
But in Italy, it's we're not going to tell you what to do, but we're going to loosen the rules for you. Please make sirens.
We're not gonna
Please.
tell you to make sirens, but please make sirens.
Please make sirens. Whereas in Germany, instead of encouraging you, they pay you to do it.
Right,
So.
in Germany, you get paid based on how many kids you got.
So
Which
who's calling
is-
dibs on the despot?
That
by
is
the way?
historical.
And then, which was hilarious that I found that that's a historical thing, that you actually got an additional bonus to your paycheck depending on how many kids you had, up to 10. Up to 10! They would pay you an extra per kid, up to 10 children in your household.
If you were in the military.
And I just thought, since the actual German Navy did that, of course I'm going to put that in Song. That's hilarious. But it's extra funny because German admirals are also the ones who, without that bonus, are paid the best anyway.
Oh my god.
So,
Alright, but anyways,
Yes.
back to
Yes.
mommy, as
So-
Right.
someone in chat who we don't know
Mhm.
said that.
Who's calling dibs, if at all,
Well,
on this one?
Do you want the lesbian?
No, you guys.
Okay.
You guys
All
have
right,
that
I
wanna be
would
her
like
best
to,
friend.
but I also already have.
You also already have a mommy.
So, would you like to try to romance?
Listen, I have a thing for antlers and horns.
This is for you, my man. This is for you.
I'm really looking at her real hard.
I mean, all of the foreign admirals have RP for a reason.
Yeah.
There's several of them that I have no expectation that you would try and get close to, but I always have the possibility. She is hard, and you need 200 points to actually have her love you. But
Well, I sure hope she isn't hard.
I was going to make
No.
it. Gosh, she might be hard, but so I'm not. No.
I 100% mechanically. All of the admirals are mechanically share hard DCs, same as Masashi that Laurel has been working
you
for.
say.
It's what you get for giving us a bodacious babe. Come on.
Monkey brain is activate.
All right. So that is who approaches you.
I'm surprised you're not like, no, she's actually super ugly and a hag.
No, I would never. I paid good money for that art.
Right?
Oh, and I want to say, shout out to our
Mora.
artist, Malmora, who did this artwork for us
In
for the lovely
secret.
Li Bai in secret.
Right?
And to anyone who wants to, their commissions are open. Feel free to check them out online. I don't think there's very many Malmoras, so Maumora.
Yeah.
So
Also, Screams and Simp, I'm gonna tell Mom what you just said.
Oh no. You're in trouble.
all right. I still can't get over how the chat just freaked out whenever
Right?
she showed up.
So-
The chat lost their
I love
entire
her so
cool.
much. And if I
Oh
didn't
my
already
goodness.
have my own little romance thing going on,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a romance thing going
Get her,
on.
Galileo.
I know,
Go,
right?
Galileo, go.
All right.
Go,
So.
Gadget.
So she approaches. Let me think of exactly what voice I want to do there, because I'm not nearly as good at female voices because Adam's apple, blah blah blah.
I'll take it from you. I'll gladly take
No.
it from you.
All right, so. I don't know.
Please don't tell Mom! Please!
I don't know what's funnier, that or I mean, look at her. Who wouldn't?
Oh.
And and on top of all the physical features, she's also the literal queen of China.
Oh,
Yeah.
In case you forgot, and a full-blooded admiral.
Power.
Listen, if you don't end up liking romancing her, I will.
right?
All we need to know now is if she has a crap personality
Right?
or not.
Hey,
Oh.
whether she has a crap personality or not, I would love to date the Queen of China.
Okay, let me go ahead and reveal her so that you can see what you do get to see about her.
Yes.
You get to know that her name is Li Bai. She is the legal Empress, not Queen, I misspoke. Empress and Fleet Admiral of China.
Oh, she's both.
She is both.
Oh,
Oh,
hell
wait,
yeah.
not this one.
So, all players and all
It's
players.
going to be an
They're
important
two weeks.
NPCs,
I
right?
will
Yeah,
admit,
'cause she's a siren.
Katarina is
You'll see
kind of
Southern
looking...
Chinese warlords.
Katarina's looking at her is just like, God, I wish I could be her.
Yes. So
Oh,
she should
no.
show up now.
Yeah.
Warmonger.
Yes, that is her personality type.
That's very fun.
She is... Like, the chat may be thirsty. She's hungry.
I mean, from that expression, I'm not exactly surprised.
Oh yeah, Malmora knew a lot more about her than you did whenever her art was created.
Oh yeah, no, I don't doubt that.
That's the funny thing. Whenever I commission Malmora to make all these, I give all of like their backstory, background, likes, dislikes, and hobbies to Malmora to make them. So there's a little hints in there.
Yeah.
Wondermus.
So as she approaches, it's like, welcome, admirals of the Kingdom of Italy and representatives of the little King Frederick. It is so wonderful to meet you all on your diplomatic mission to the east. And I am so glad to be the first ones to truly welcome you to the heartland of Asia. I am so grateful to have representatives of our great benefactors finally making a proper visit. And as she gestures, you can see in the harbor that they have actually arranged a couple capital ships of the Chinese fleet. I'm going to look in chat in just 1 second. I'm going to arrange a couple capital ships of the Chinese fleet in the harbor to be kind of placed next to yours as you sail in. And you actually recognize them as old Italian battleships designs.
Oh.
So mechanically, these battleships would be Dante Alighieri class
Okay,
battleships.
I got you.
So it's very clear then, because it's just something you guys knew, but just kind of reminding you that in this one, the Southern Chinese warlords actually bought their capital ships design from Italy.
Yep.
And actually, the reason that they are very similar to Soviet battleships is because the Soviets also bought those designs from Italy a long time ago, back when they were still Russia in the Great War.
Mm-hmm.
So that also tells you right away she is willing to buy Italian tech,
Yeah.
and you are literally sailing in the next newest model of the ships she already owns into Italy,
Yeah.
and she has had the tugboats park them next to each other, and she is already sizing them up and comparing
Right,
them.
I'm not surprised. Also,
Mhm.
now
what is it?
now I'm double
What is
telling
it?
Mom what you're
I
saying.
like icy woman. I like.
Screams and Simp praying for Galileo's juicy cheese. I think it's just canon now
Oh,
that
gosh.
Galileo is just juicy.
You got a
Yes.
fat ass.
Oh, Mitch Mash is the one who's the most down bad, I
Right?
think.
Ooh, we love her.
Yes. Okay, I'm good. I'm glad you like her.
Oh my god.
So-
I forgot what I was staring at her. What she said.
It is my pleasure to welcome you to China, the China, and I would be more than happy to have all of you escorted to the palace so that we can begin discussions on what it is you are here to talk about, as I'm sure that you have not simply come out here to engage in all of the hospitality that the great empire of China, which is the oldest remaining empire in the world, could provide to you, though you will get the chance to sample it anyway. Now, do you wish to walk, ride, or be carried?
Walk, ride, or be carried.
Oh my goodness.
Why are we here?
It is a diplomatic mission.
What?
Mind empty.
I don't know. Legitimately, I have no idea why we're here.
That's
Okay.
right, you weren't there. You get
Oh,
a pass.
yeah, I have no
You
idea.
two decided
Oh, yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
Why are we here?
We forgot to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know why
Oh
we're
yeah.
doing.
So
It's
so
a-
basically, we decided last week
Uh-huh.
that we are trying to. We want all of our Asian friends to all be friends with each other.
Okay.
And
Because
we
you
want
have a
them to-
very high relationship with both segments of China.
And
They're
we
both
want-
very friendly.
And we want to have a lot of allies, so if we do go to war with Britain, we do not immediately get our ass clapped.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we would like China to join up together, and if one of the Chinas doesn't agree to work with us, or we just don't like one of them, then we've decided that we're going to split up the half of China between the China we side with and Japan.
Okay,
Okay.
the thing that they're not saying that's really, really important is you're very good friends with Japan.
Yes.
And you're very good friends with both Chinas.
Yep.
The Chinas hate each other, and both Chinas hate Japan.
Okay.
So you are friends with all three of these people. They all three like you. They all three hate each other with a burning passion because each of them has attacked and killed members of all three sides. Like, there have been Japanese ships sunk by Chinese ships. There's been plenty of Japanese towns and convoys raided and pillaged by the Japanese. They have all caused each other to bleed. There is blood on the water on all sides. It has been, like, the two Chinas are literally in a civil war for control of the nation. And while they were doing that, Japan took at least like 25% of the entire country and just conquered it and has taken it under their control as a puppet.
So yeah, we
So-
want them all to be friends.
Okay.
We're gonna try and undo hundreds of years of war
And hatred.
And hatred.
And
So-
rhymes.
Yeah, in like a couple of weeks.
My main idea is that we will find one of the Chinas that we like the most and think we can at least somewhat control more, and just ally with them, and then kind of just forcibly take the other China.
I
With
don't
Japan.
even want to look at the chat anymore. I don't like you guys anymore.
Just please don't tell Mom. Please, I'm sorry.
Everybody
Maximum
agrees.
horny. Damn.
Everyone agrees about the silver tongue.
Just the duck. Oh my god, I love you guys. This is great.
You can even tell by looking at her. I'm actually going to have Giovanna kind of lean over and tell this to you.
Uh-huh.
Just like, I just want to let you know, because I know this and I can see it. Actually, I'll speak up, because I don't want... and I like to whisper when I whisper, but I realize we have an audience. Just pretend this is a whisper.
Yep.
It's like, I just want to tell you this, so you know. I'm taking a look at her. I just want to tell you this, because I know this, and I don't think you know this, but that makeup she's wearing is imported, and it's really expensive. I wouldn't even ask you for that stuff. It's made out of things. It's expensive.
Ooh.
You gotta, like, kill monsters to get the dyes that she uses to make that.
Ooh.
I mean, when was the last time you saw somebody with lipstick that wasn't red?
Oh my gosh, it's like monster blood lipstick.
Actually, I think that one's made out of some kind of ink.
Kraken ink?
Probably.
We just had to deal with Kraken!
A juvenile, more than likely. Nobody hunts the elders. They're too big and scary.
Oh my gosh, she has Kraken ink lipstick.
That's
What's that do if you get kissed by it?
You and
You forget it.
That's why we keep forgetting what we're doing when we look at her.
She just keeps kissing us. No.
We're just like, oh.
Crimson. Oh, so she's rich. Yes. She
And she's
controls
the queen
the
of China.
economically
Parts
strong
of it.
parts of China. China would honestly be even more economically powerful if Japan wasn't attacking them relentlessly and the other China wasn't also attacking them relentlessly. So they are basically fighting a silent war on two fronts.
What's I mean, look at her. Look at her jewelry.
Yeah, that's all real gold and jewels. All of it.
Crazy sip. Stop.
Mommy to kill the Kraken for us.
Okay. So, she did pose you three a question. Do you want to walk, ride, or be carried to the palace? And by ride, that indicates like some horses.
Well,
Okay,
let's just
cool.
ride. Let's
Let's
just
just
ride.
ride.
I don't know what
Horses.
being carried means,
I
but
don't
we'll
want
go with
to.
ride.
No, like she
You
has
know what?
more sedan chairs.
Oh,
Which is
like
people
things
carrying.
like the
No,
okay.
I don't
Yes.
want to
We'll
be carried.
we'll ride.
I want to be carried.
You can be
Sure,
carried.
I'm getting carried.
Okay, so I'll just like, Admiral Ambrosio,
What?
walk, ride, or carried.
Oh, right. I don't want people carrying
All right,
me.
we'll get a European horse so that it can hold, you. I'm sure a man of your power and stature couldn't possibly be held by a regular or Asian horse, unless you prefer an elephant.
You could ride an elephant.
This is
We have plenty that are trained to carry passengers.
I'll take the horse.
All right. And you, Admiral Donatelli?
I'll ride as well. A horse is fine.
All right. And Admiral Aquila?
I would like to ride in one of those fancy chairs.
Oh, would you like your own, or shall we share one?
Share.
If you do not mind sharing.
Oh, no, of course not. What better cargo? I'm sure that I can gather up a few extra men to carry it.
Perfect.
They will not falter.
Good. Also, I just have to let you guys know, this is the most awkward thing that I've ever done in my entire life. Because this is my sister. That is my sister's husband. It's very weird to flirt with my sister's husband right in front of her.
It's fine.
I have no such qualms.
Everyone's still going insane in the chat.
Oh, yeah, they're losing their minds. It's great. Okay, so you're going to share her... 'cause I hope I'm not wrong, but I believe it's called a sedan chair.
I think so. You know what?
I thought it was a palanquin.
A
No,
palanquin, maybe.
Maybe. I thought the palanquin was the ones that have the tops on them.
Well, everyone knows what we're talking about when we say that. It's a big chair with like 4 big wooden things and a bunch of people carry it. And as you two get horses and start riding to the palace, the dudes start carrying it. She pulls a little rope and she closes curtains.
Oh,
no,
no.
that's a palanquin. Yeah, that's a palanquin.
Okay, it's a palanquin. Gotcha.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, there is another form called a sedan chair that consists of a chair or windowed cabin suitable for a single occupant.
Okay, so
okay.
this
So you would want a bigger one.
So this is
Yes.
a palanquin then.
Yes, hers is a bigger thing. It doesn't look like it's intentionally made for guests, but it's able to accommodate them due to being just straight spacious.
I know the word palanquin because of Steven Universe.
Okay, so, as you are walking off, she closes the curtains. Finally. My delicate skin is not made to be out in the sun for too long.
Like that?
Yes, like that!
Okay.
Except hers is, like, seated up higher.
Yeah.
Because, so it's not like the bars are running through it, they're running along the bottom of it, so hers is, like, high up in
I
the
got
air.
you. Like a reverse of this one.
Mm-hmm.
This one's really funny.
Yeah, the opposite of that. But, so she's just like, I'm so glad to be out. I am afforded the privilege of keeping my skin the way it is, and I don't want the sun to ruin it unnecessarily.
That is fair.
Though I can see with your excellent Mediterranean heritage, the sun is more your friend than mine.
It is more favorable for me, yes.
Well, I might burn, but it seems you're more kissed by it.
Dear God.
I'm not kissing her.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So I'm sure that we'll get into it once we make it to the palace and have a nice meal to talk things over with. But would you mind if if you don't mind sharing with me a little bit of a tidbit of why you're here. I don't suppose I'm so lucky that you're here to sell me that battleship of yours, but...
As we've just started building those, I believe we might keep a hold of them for a bit longer.
I understand. You only have around about 2.5 of them from what I can tell. I'm interested to see how the construction of that third one's going to go, especially since your shipyards will be quite so free afterwards.
Well, we are trying to keep our shipyards quite busy.
Good. I think now is a decent time for the Italians to start rearming now that I guess the word would be rather limp Admiral is out of power. I understand what he wanted with social programs and whatnot, but I just don't think you live in a peaceful enough region to warrant a navy on the side on par with mine. You certainly can afford to have one far greater than I can field, so why not use that ability?
To be fair, he was getting older, so...
It's understandable. All of us weaken to some degree with age. I'm just hoping that my special heritage might help me age a little bit better than most. Or that she kind of just pulls her hair back a little bit, but right around where her horns are. And the thing is, you're familiar with the sirens of all of the 6 major nations? You're not actually sure.
Yeah, I don't know about China.
You can ask her.
Personally, I don't know about China.
Ask her then.
Because I know what Chinese sirens are like. I know what the sirens of most nations that be big enough to have them are like, but I don't actively share that information until I can make a full expansion. Because I don't want to make it canon until I've fully worked everything out.
Because I don't believe we have any posters of a Chinese siren yet, do we?
We do not.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But I know what Chinese sirens would be like if they were ever made canonical.
Well, then let him ask.
Yeah.
Yes, so...
So I am quite new to traveling the world. This is about as far as I've gone since
It's about
I've
as far
started.
as there is to go.
Really. I'm not familiar with your particular heritage.
Oh, well, I would be happy to explain. You see, while the previous emperor was but a child, his father had more children than he officially claimed, and I was one of them. So I come from the emperor's heritage, and as the nobility of many major countries are, our noble blood and that of our sirens are quite intermingled, and Chinese sirens are based off of the Chinese zodiac, and we're able to use it to draw in powerful spirits. I am descended from the bloodline of dragons.
Yep, as soon as you said Chinese zodiac, I was just like, those are not deer antlers.
Nope.
Those are dragon antlers.
Yes. So I take on some of the features of the wondrous and magical dragons of our native to our land, though extraordinarily rare nowadays. There's only one other such creature that I'm aware of. Yes, she is Crimson.
Yeah.
Man. Daniel's over here like, man, we're meeting a lot of people with horns.
Right?
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay.
We like horns.
So, yes.
One could say we're...
Yeah, so basically what, to answer Miss Brown's question, dragon antlers. Chinese dragons did not have horns. They were traditionally depicted as having more like antlers than horns. So since she is descended from a Chinese dragon, supposedly, she has things that are more like antlers than horns.
Think, Shenron from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, that'd be a good example.
Because Asian dragons are more serpentine and don't have wings.
Yes. Which is why she does not have wings either.
Or like the dragons in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
like
the Breath of the Wild dragons are also a
another
very
great
good
example.
example.
So that is why she has those antlers, and they do seem to be very prominent.
Yep.
She even parts her hair specifically to make them as prominent as possible. It seems like every feature that she has that is any sign of her inhuman heritage, she specifically dresses herself to show off that feature as much as possible. She wants to make a big show of not being human.
Okay.
which is why she's really tall, but then also she wears heels.
Yep.
Like she has these very deep red eyes, but she also wears eyeshadow to draw more attention to them. She has these antlers, but she parts her hair specifically to make them really prominent, so you can see they come straight out of her forehead and they're real.
Right, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, in events and stuff, she put, like, decorations in her antlers. Like, jewelry.
She might do that as well. So yeah, she explains that she is descended from sirens/admirals with draconic traits.
Considering she's a warmonger, Mishmash, I would not be surprised if she had a horde. Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is like.
I mean, look at all the gold she's wearing.
Mhm.
She brought part of her horde with her and is wearing it.
There was a time when the great Chinese Empire had a great number of sirens. Unfortunately, I have control of only 3, but one of them does share my draconic lineage, so I'm very happy to keep them as the centerpiece to my fleet, and most of the time anyway.
If I might ask, what is the other one that you have? The other 2 that you have control? Because you said you had 3.
Let me just pull something up real quick, because I don't want to put them... Because the order matters a little bit.
It does. The order of the Chinese zodiac does matter.
Because I don't want them to all be bunched together.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be just a little bit spread out.
Mm.
So just before I say that... Okay, so she has a dragon... Okay, she's going to say, we have sirens representing the dragon, the snake, and the rooster.
Snake. Go snake. I'm Chinese zodiac snake.
Mm-hmm. Yes, those are the 3 she has. She claims to have one, a dragon, a snake, and a rooster siren.
Interesting. Well, I would be delighted to meet them eventually.
Oh, if you wish to meet them, then I shall ensure that you get to meet them.
Thank you.
We will have plenty of time for pleasantries, I'm sure. And I'm very happy to see that apparently I won't be the only one providing pleasantries. I've been told that that ship you were carting with you has also contained gifts for me, and for those, I thank you dearly.
Of course. We would never come without gifts.
Yes, I'm glad to be shown the proper reverence as an empress. And unless there's something else specifically you want to talk about, you just kind of chit-chat on your way to the palace.
Yeah.
And all of you are just immediately thrown into a bit of a banquet with her.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you may begin making discussions during or after the banquet. There are servants kind of running around, but she assures you that that none of them will have any ability to speak of anything. Like, so feel free to talk, and it doesn't matter.
Ability?
Well, not so much that they have their tongues cut out, but just these are trusted servants. They're not going to say anything. Also, you can choose what language you want to speak with her in. She'll tell you that she can fluently speak Chinese, Japanese, English, and Russian.
Oh, well, I mean, as soon as I got in her palanquin, I started speaking Chinese to her.
Yes, and I will say that she does compliment you on how well you can speak it. And it's just, I almost can't tell where you would be from if I just heard you over the phone. I can't hear much of an Italian accent at all. You must have had a very good teacher.
Well, I do try to get as many languages under my belt as I can to kind of cut the need for translators out of it, just in case my point doesn't get put across correctly.
Of course. And with her ability to speak those languages, I think she can definitely talk with you. What do you only speak Italian and French, or
And Banshee.
And Banshee? Okay, yeah. So you'll need a bit of a translator, but that's what you have
Yeah.
them there for, so they can help you out. Because you unfortunately don't share a language with her right now, but she shares a language with 2 of you, so I'm calling that pretty good.
I have not been able to use my English, and I do want to use that at some point.
You
Yes.
were using it with Masashi,
I
weren't you?
don't believe so. I believe
I think he did speak English.
Yeah.
He spoke English,
Because we all spoke a language with him, but it wasn't like
The same one.
It wasn't the same one.
but I never spoke to Masashi directly.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I don't
just-
believe I've used my English yet.
So just for my knowledge, do you start talking business during the banquet, or do you eat and small talk, and then after that, then do you get down to business?
What do you guys want to do? Because again, I have very little knowledge of what we're doing. I mean, I know what we're doing, but I didn't plan it with you guys, so I'm not sure how to go about this. So what do you guys think we should do?
So we're trying to form an allyship between China, Japan, and possibly the
No,
other
yeah, I
China.
know what we're doing, but
Yeah.
do we want to do it while we're eating or wait till after we're eating? That's what I'm
That's
asking.
the only question I'm asking right
I think
now.
we should wait until after. I feel
Okay.
like this is a conversation we want to have in private.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then all of you eat this banquet, and you talk about a variety of things. Some of the similar stuff, she talks about, her heritage, how she's descended from the former emperor's father, doing some of that stuff and setting up, and that gives you kind of the insight into, why you can look at her character sheet and see that she's a warmonger and yada yada. Also, if any of you would like, you could roll an insight to try and get an idea of what her stats are.
I'm doing that.
You got a 13.
13. DC is 16.
Ah.
Do I use my
got a
bonus to
13.
reading people?
I also got a 13. What the heck, dude?
Yes, you may.
That's stupid. Guess the game just hates me.
I got, looks like a 14.
Okay,
I rolled
with,
kind of low.
with that, I'll let you know what one of her stats is.
Okay.
It's better than none.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to put that on the character sheet?
No, just let me know body, charm, or wit.
I want to know her wit, actually.
Okay, you get the feeling that her wit is a 3. So you just kind of get the feeling that she's smarter than you or Daniel, but not quite as
Okay.
smart as Galileo.
Yeah, because I have a feeling that her charm is really, really
Right.
good.
I
But I
imagine-
wanted to know how smart she was.
I'd also imagine, I imagine her two highest are probably body and charm.
Alright, all you know is that her wit is a 3. So she is smarter than you or Daniel, but not quite as smart as Galileo.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
So I can outwit her pretty easily.
Potentially.
Okay.
You'd have about a 15% chance.
Okay.
Alright. So, with that, it's just like after all the plates have been cleared away and all the servants leave the room, you're in like this very luxurious dining hall with her, and you were eating a variety of dishes. Probably like the most prominent thing is there was actually a like whole roasted pig
Oh, wow.
that all of you were served portions from.
That's really cool.
And there were a variety of desserts, and there were a lot of alcohols available if any of you would want to partake in those.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I make sure Aurelius gets his share of fancy
Mhm.
Chinese wine, though.
Yes, and since you asked, she does specifically have the 3 sirens join as well.
Yeah, what do they
Yes.
like?
So it looks like a male dragon, a female snake, and a male rooster.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Does male dragon also have have antlers?
Yes, he does. Though his are black
Oh.
Instead of the kind of brownish.
instead of her
color.
brownish color. Yes.
Yeah.
Though they don't really speak much, you get the feeling that they probably only speak Chinese, so they don't, engage in very much conversation. But they will be polite with
Yeah.
Galileo anytime he addresses them.
Yeah.
They seem very polite, but they don't seem especially like friendly or especially like afraid or cowed or anything. It's just meeting powerful strangers a little nervous.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But the only thing you get the feeling of is that they are very reverent of Empress Li Bai.
Mhm.
So they very much show a lot of reverence and deference to her, like almost to the point of fear, but you don't know exactly to what degree. So, so now that we've all partaken of what we need, to what do I owe the glorious pleasure of having all of you and some of your delegates come meet me here? Is there perhaps more licenses on offer for Italian warships that you've come to try and sell to me?
Well, it's not really what we're here to do, but I'm sure that we could. I'm trying to talk with them,
Mhm.
like that's not really what we're here to do, but I'm sure we could get some of what we want by agreeing to some of their demands, because we don't know what
Right.
their demands are. But
It's
she does
probably
seem
more
interested in
ships.
more ships.
Yeah.
We don't really have ships themselves to
No.
sell, but we might be able to,
You
Sell
can
plans.
or some like technology to them.
So basically, like you could add on like technology or licenses. Licenses is basically like you sell the blueprints and know-how of how to build a ship to somebody, and then they pay you a fee each time they build one.
Okay.
Basically, that's also something you can do. Basically, just that you just know that she is interested in more Italian technology, so that is something that is on that she's just basically putting that on the negotiating table.
Yes.
She doesn't know for sure what you're here to negotiate, but she wants that to be on the table. She's interested in acquiring more advanced warships because obviously she's in a very hostile region that has recently gotten even hotter with everything in Indochina and Japan. And she is closer to that than even the other Chinese warlords are. So she is in the middle of a very hot, tense region.
Yeah, let me just...
So more weapons good.
Let me just pull up our
So I don't think we should
relations.
tiptoe around the fact that we want to ally with them.
Oh, yeah, no, we're not gonna... Oh, yes tiptoe or no tiptoe?
No.
No tiptoe. Okay, sorry. I want to make sure I didn't mishear you.
Yeah, she would not be offended by you being blunt about why you're here.
Yeah,
so.
let me pull up our foreign relations. I want to see how close exactly we are.
Yes.
I want to see the exact...
Yeah, read that out so everyone in the chat can know as well.
So she's the southern?
Yes, she is part of the southern... She's the leader of the southern Chinese warlords.
Okay, so we're... So they're at 80 towards us, and we're at 75 towards them.
Yes.
So that's pretty good. Not immediate allyship, but we could negotiate an allyship.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you were in range that you could convince them to form an alliance with you. Though, just the thing is, if you can't mend things between them and Japan, and you form an alliance before doing that, it could hurt your friendship with Japan.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's if you can get her and the Japanese emperor to get along in some way, then you could easily form an alliance with all three of them.
Oh yeah,
Or
but
both of them, I should say.
I don't want to form an alliance right now with just them.
No.
I want to convince her to join an allyship between us and Japan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So if that's your goal, I will just tell you that will be possible. That is on, because I have already made a list of her minimum demands, what she wants in addition to that, and then what she's willing to concede. And things that she is willing to concede as part of a deal is an alliance with Japan.
Okay.
You can talk her into that with proper concessions.
Okay.
But she is going to need to be, bribed, so to speak. And to make some good offers to her.
All right. Well, we certainly can make some arrangements for that if that is one of the things you desire.
Excellent.
But of course, that isn't free.
Oh, no, of course not. I'm not someone who needs any charity.
So,
Though, the charity that Pope Courageous has been offering us these past few years has been invaluable. I can't tell you how many of my citizens have been saved from starvation by his outreach. So, let me begin by giving you a thank you to him and Italy from me. It has been most appreciated due to how difficult it is to import food when all of our merchant ships mysteriously go missing.
of course. I'm glad that we could offer such aid to those in need. So, right now, I'm sure you're well aware of the happenings upon the world stage.
I must, as the world leader myself.
So you will know that tensions have been running high in Europe then. And Italy is admittedly not in the position that we want to be with them.
Of course. Last I checked, I think the only nations in the world who are where they want to be are England and America. I don't think anyone else is happy with where they are right now.
So, and those other countries are not giving us what we want. So we're looking to elevate our historical friends with us.
Oh, you've come seeking an alliance.
Yes, but we have also made some strides with someone who is an adversary with you, with Japan. And that is not an ally we wish to completely block out. But we also do not want to lose one that we have already been so close with.
You're here to make nice.
Precisely.
There's a lot of blood that needs to be made up for.
I think there is blood all over the world that could be mopped up among many different people. And I
That's fair.
feel like perhaps we could join together. Because I'm thinking that right now, with the West in turmoil, why can't the East put aside some of their differences, join together, and rise up against them?
I would be more than happy to see Europe be forced to take the Asian powers more seriously. Unfortunately, I have to currently agree with them about the difference in power in terms of continents. Considering there is an entire subcontinent under their thumb, as it is now, I agree that I would love to see us put upon the same pedestal that they currently occupy. But there's not... With China the way it is, even though my nation does hold over 150 million souls, as much as most of Europe combined, it unfortunately simply can't compare in its current state. Not with it broken and fractured into pieces. We would be more than happy to assist you, but there's only so much I can do with only a piece of my true homeland.
Mm-hmm. She wants us to get the other half of China.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she wants the other 2/3 of China.
Yep.
Back under her control.
Yep.
So, to clarify, you want us to agree to... I'm not going to use the word forgive. That's not on the table.
No.
To get over our problems with Japan.
Get over.
To bite the inside of our cheek, force a smile, and shake hands, make an alliance with them and with you in order to stand against the powers that are causing you problems.
And the world.
They're also causing you problems as well.
Indeed.
And they're going to continue to cause further problems the more territory in this area that they get.
I would be more than happy to even just eliminate the Japan problem or deal with the crazy person who lives to the left of me.
They are the Western Chinese warlords.
And his rich friends.
Rich friends.
Oh, you're not aware that all of the communists work together even when they say that they don't. He is backed by the Soviets. Though they do have a lot of differences. If it wasn't for their intervention, I would have crushed him a long time ago. I have tried.
Should we tell her that we're planning to visit them as well? So that way we can basically be like, hey, we're going to visit them too and see what they offer us to try and get a better deal from her?
That could go well or that could go poorly.
That could go very poorly.
If you tell her that, it's going to be a roll to see if that's going to make her be more desperate or dig in her heels more and be more cautious.
That's why I'm asking you guys.
Well, I think
she'll definitely know that you visit them later, but...
Personally, I'm using this as a way to tell, okay, do we want to try to get them all to make peace?
Yeah.
Or do we want to just pit one against the other and take the
victor?
Take the victor. Well, not victor. Do we want to side with one over the other and just take the land?
That's what I thought this excursion was, to talk with them and figure out who we like more.
And I think that's the most likely option because with the other war, it's very possible that we will end up disliking the other warlord and not really vibing with what's going on over there.
Or we could visit them and like them more than we like her.
Yes.
Though I doubt it, considering we have art for her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I definitely didn't get art for both of them.
Did you really?
Do you want me to tell you if I did?
Yes.
I actually do have art for both of them.
Oh my god!
It's gonna be a tough choice.
Yeah, I got art for both of them, baby!
Oh no!
Because I have plans for what happens to one if you side with one and try and get rid of the other.
Yeah.
I'd already made plans for what happens. I'm keeping the art for them. I already paid for it.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to easily get rid of either of them.
Yeah, no. One of these people that we're talking with is going to become a villain.
Yeah, one of these people is going to become your long-term friend, and the other one's going to be a long-term pain in your butt.
Great.
Yes.
So you're not just picking who you want as a friend, you're also picking who you would be willing to put up with as an enemy.
Okay,
and
so-
there's also the much more difficult option of making them both friends, but that's not
going to happen.
That's
So
not
I'm just going to tell you that's not going to happen.
So I'm just saying this now. I don't care what the other person's like. They seem like they need a lot of help from Russia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I would not want to fight her.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying this now.
Unless my mind changes upon meeting the other guy, I'm thinking the other guy's going to be the villain in this exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm really hoping that those differences with Russia can be expanded on. and make it so that the USSR no longer helps them.
Let's see how hot the other one is.
I couldn't tell you. He is a guy, and I am also a guy, so I couldn't tell you how hot he is.
We will be the judges.
We'll be the judge.
All right. So, but right now you're talking with her.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, but I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, so
She's gonna find out that you go over there. So.
Yeah. So we should let her know that we're going over there, not, but to size them up.
because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, no, we can say it that way.
Yeah, she wouldn't be offended if you say that. She's not going to be mad that you, go, meet them. But it's like, it's why you're going. Because you make it clear, just like, we're going to see who gets us the better deal. It's like, no matter who you say that to, it's...
Yeah, you're gonna
That's okay.
Angry eyebrows!
Right?
Larry boy! No.
See, and, we haven't been over here very much because, well, it's been very difficult for us to be in this part of the world. And we plan on, while we are visiting you and making you our priority, we also want to see what your neighbors are made of as well. So we will be visiting with them additionally. But should things go poorly there, we would be willing to make some deals to get you back some of your power.
So, you're visiting both of us and trying to determine who would be the better ally for your kingdom.
So far, you have made a wonderful impression.
Good. I've been trying.
I can tell.
I'm glad that it's gone over well then. So, I can certainly tell you could not possibly get this level of hospitality from him. And I'm sure Japan can only try and match this, though they might have enough money through their exploitation of my people to do so.
We're hoping to end that exploitation and instead for you to be able to take part of or most of your western neighbors.
So you are willing to give me concessions in order to ensnare me as your ally.
I hope you don't mind.
No. Then how about, would you like to know then what it would take for me to ally with you?
Yes, I would love to know that.
So, and I'll just tell you this, I'll say it in character because it's fun, and this is a voice that I can keep up pretty well. So, at minimum, for there to be any negotiations between us, I have already lost a great amount of Chinese territory, and I'm not willing to lose any more. Number one, Japan is not to take another inch of Chinese territory at all. And number two, all of Western China, under the control of those crazy communists, is to be brought back under imperial rule. Because I am already only controlling at best a third of what my empire should be, and I'm not going to whittle it down any further. Those are my minimum requirements.
So, out of character, I'm assuming by any more of China, she means the part of China that she currently controls, along with the part that she wants to control from the West.
So
not
saying,
Indo-China.
But she's willing to let them keep what they have.
She has not said that she is completely unwilling to cede that territory. Her bare minimum is she's not giving any of her current territory to Japan, and all of the Western Chinese territory controlled by the other warlords must be returned to her.
Okay.
Those are the bare minimum, basically
so that she won't budge on this.
Yes, basically if you won't give her that, then there's no point in talking.
Okay.
Because she can't, just no.
Okay. But honestly, being
Japan-
willing to cede a third to Japan and just not fight over it anymore, that's pretty good.
That is true.
So-
That's honestly pretty good.
So she's saying that's her bare minimum. And Japan did give you a scenario where they would be willing to accept that It's just that to accept that, you would have to agree to help Japan gain more territory in
Elsewhere.
Asia.
Yeah, we
so.
talked with them last time about
Yeah.
that, so...
Which I think is fair. Well,
The only one I'm not willing
to
to do of the options that Japan gave us is the British Raj. I am not willing to take that over.
Not yet. Not until we have far more allies.
Yeah, but they had other options for
Yes.
us, so...
Yeah, there is actually, in addition to that, there's a lot of other territories, because they also talked about the Dutch East Indies, and British Malaysia, and the Philippines.
Okay.
Because you're already going to be picking a fight with France, so, and you're probably going to be trying to get the Dutch East Indies for Japan, and then for Japan to be satisfied with this deal, you're either going to need to pick a fight with the British, which was on your docket anyway later, or America.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think I'd
rather
rather
not fight
Britain.
America.
Yeah.
So basically, if you want to get her on your side and Japan on your side, you're in order to make them both happy, you're committing to a fight with the British eventually.
Okay.
But they're not going to
Yeah.
rush you into it because they know that Britain is a giant
Is a beast.
kraken monster that has tentacles all over the entire planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the three of us...
Yeah, see, the thing is, if you united the two Chinas together and got them to work together with Japan, and they were supporting you, then fighting Britain is not out of the question if they don't bring in other allies.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it would even be a fight that you would be likely to win, but that would be it would be more even. Especially since the majority of the fight would be taking place either in the Mediterranean or in the Pacific, which is not their home turf. Their home turf is the Atlantic and the North Sea.
Yeah.
So they're fighting on your home territory, not theirs. So it might be possible.
Okay.
And also, I'm thinking we side with her a lot more because another reason because the commies don't like religion and we are a
Yeah.
That's
theocracy.
true.
Yeah.
So, but also they're in the USSR's pocket, and we need to get them out of there before we make any moves against them. Because I don't know that we want to be fighting the USSR even with the help of her and Japan.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
so what are her other demands? So those are the
So-
minimum, and do you have this all written down so
I
we
do.
can have that in a document later?
I do.
Okay, good. Yeah,
So,
I'm bad at remembering verbal.
is that an acceptable minimum starting point?
There are ways that we can arrange those things.
Mhm.
Yes.
So Japan was willing to concede that. I know you must have spoken with them first.
Of course.
We have. It will require a lot more effort on our part that we would expect, some support in.
Some aid. If you will.
You don't have to, put your people in danger, but some support in doing so would be nice.
Yes. Noted. I'll be interested to see if you would be willing to tell me later what their new map of the world would look like. But
That is something that we can work on explaining everything to you later. But just know we have made other arrangements.
now, I'm sure that you have other ideas in mind. I'm sure Japan made more requests than you're stating at the moment, and I'm sure you have more that you want. So, here are some of the things I would like to be put on the table as our bartering chips. Here are some of the things I would like as the Empress. So, in our capital here of Nanjing, it is dangerously close to Japanese holdings in the north. It was only once they got within a few hundred miles of the capital that their invasion was stopped. And having our capital so close to Japanese territory, or colonial territory, is not a safe situation. Something I would like is if we could have a portion of northern Chinese territory returned to us to create a buffer zone to give us more space between Japanese holdings and our capital city.
See, I don't think Japan would go for that.
But that's why she's listing multiple things.
It would have
Yeah.
to be if Japan. If we were to bring that up to Japan, we would have to promise something else to them.
Right.
Yeah,
In
this
return.
is gonna be a very tit for tat sort of thing.
Yeah, but also we don't have to do that one. We can choose
Yeah.
some of the other options she's
Yes.
going to give us.
Yeah.
Because if you agreed to enough other things, she'd be willing. Any of these things on this list, everything on this list is I want this, but it is not a minimum starting point. I'm willing to give up this for something else potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I am feeling quite threatened by the Empire of Japan. So if I could even, especially in the absence of a direct alliance immediately, a non-aggression pact with Japan, especially if there are consequences built into it. Such as if you, as Italy, would be willing to denounce Japan, if they tried to take any more Chinese territory, that would be something that would make me feel a lot better. Because if they knew that trying to take more Chinese territory would lose them their primary ally, that would make me feel a lot better about allying with someone who has had a propensity for breaking treaties in the past.
I get that. We have broken treaties in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, have we?
Germany.
Oh.
Yeah, we did that.
Additionally, Japan has caused a great amount of financial and physical harm to my empire, so something else I would be willing to take as a sign that Japan truly is willing to change would be reparations. Basically, Japan would have to pay them money as a show of, we're sorry we broke your stuff, here we'll pay for it.
How much? Does she say?
You get the feeling that it would be a very large amount of money.
Okay.
Though that could be just like a small amount that is just tacked on. Though any amount of reparations is effectively admitting that Japan was in the wrong.
Yeah, I don't think Japan would do that.
I think that middle one with the non-aggression pact is probably one of our best things. But if she asks more, I'd like to hear
We
more.
might be able to do some small reparations, maybe.
Additionally, something I'd be interested in would be the territory of Nepal on our southwestern border.
Does Japan
It's
want-
currently a free minor nation.
Mhm.
Okay, so no one has control of it. No one's interested in it.
Britain has tried to take it before and failed.
Okay, but like they don't have control over it.
No,
Okay.
they are currently independent.
Is Nepal on here?
I believe so. It's a very
Oh, I
small
see.
minor nation.
We don't care about Nepal.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, we're
No.
neutral, so.
What's their opinion on us?
On us? It's
Like
about
we're just
50.
neutral.
Yeah, we're
No,
50.
no.
They don't have
Neutral
anything to do
both
with you.
ways.
Yeah, we don't care about them. They don't care about us.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that.
We would either like your assistance in taking over Nepal, or should we choose to do so, that you back our claim to it on the world stage to prevent any coalition being formed against us,
Mhm.
in order so that it can't be used as an excuse to try and let the British or French or Soviets gain more of our territory. Basically, she wants to invade Nepal, but she doesn't feel like she can because she feels like other people would take advantage of her if she did. So basically just Italy being like, no, you can't invade China. I said so, and I'm a
Yep.
big power, be afraid of me.
Mhm.
That's fair.
So she wants basically your political support for invading Nepal.
We can do that, yeah.
Yeah.
We might also help militarily, because then we can get some experience.
Right.
Experience is nice.
Additionally, should there ever be a war with the British, while I am part of your alliance, I want parts of the northern British Raj.
So if it becomes part
If it
of
becomes-
it.
Yeah, so if there is ever a war with Britain, they will participate only if there are promises in advance that they get to claim territories in northern India.
Okay, but not all of it, just some.
No, they're not asking for all of it.
Okay.
That'd be far beyond their
So I think
bounds.
we could give Japan the majority of it, with some of it falling with China.
It's
Like,
big enough you can split it into 11 pieces. That's 285 million.
Right,
people.
it's a lot.
I mean,
So,
we could split it into thirds with each of us getting part of it.
You could do that. Yeah, that would be very doable.
Have a big city in like the middle, like a Port Cora.
If they would be up for grabs, I would be very interested in having parts of northern Indochina or Siam.
Hmm.
No Siam. I'll just say that right now.
Okay, Siam's off the table. What about northern Indochina?
Northern.
Hmm.
Was Japan interested in that?
That was part of Japan's hard line.
Okay, hardline
Hardline.
Indochina.
Mm.
I do believe it.
We'll have to say no to both of those, unfortunately, but we can agree that if we ever did go after the British Raj, that you would get part of it.
Excellent.
Mhm. A proportional part.
Proportional to our effort. Fair.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't want to say equal, but proportional. I think proportional to be fair.
We would like Taiwan returned.
Anyone have Taiwan?
It's a Japanese puppet.
Oh.
It's part of Japan has integrated it basically as part of Japan.
Okay.
Japan didn't even bring it up to you guys because Japan didn't think they would ask for it back.
Hmm.
But I imagine that Japan doesn't want to give
But
it.
that's also
They would
not a
really
hard
like
line.
to not do that.
Yeah.
They didn't specifically say no, but do you think it's because they didn't even think that they would ask for that?
We'll have to discuss that. Not off the table, but it will be a discussion.
All right. Should there ever be conflict with the USSR, we would like to take portions of Siberia.
I mean, if we take over Western China, we're probably going to make Russia angry at us.
The
so,
Soviets would be very angry.
We might have to fight them too. Honestly, it looks like we're shaping up to fight France, Russia, and England.
Literally all
The
of
only
Europe.
people that we're not going to be fighting is like Germany and America?
Unless Japan starts something with America again.
Don't.
Right. Stop.
So, I think we can avoid fighting Russia. We just need to figure out how to do to the warlords that we did to France.
Fair enough.
Japan didn't mention anything about wanting Siberia, right?
They didn't say anything about it. You know that they probably want the city of Vladivostok and some of the islands, but they didn't specifically say so because they're not currently gunning for a war with the Soviets.
Yeah.
If that happens, then I think that we can arrange something.
Excellent.
Yes.
We would also, in general, like a defensive pact against the Soviets or British in general.
I mean, that sounds fair.
That
Would you
sounds
be
fair.
agreeable to a defensive pact against the French as well, then, in return?
If you are willing to make a defensive pact with us, we'd be willing to sign a defensive pact with you against the Soviets, British, or French. The French are also on our borders and a threat to us as well.
Awesome.
Sweet.
I just wanted to make sure to add that, to put that on her
because
radar.
we don't like the French.
And we
Yes.
really want to kick their butts at the moment.
Right.
So
Like, they're
if-
our main enemy at the moment.
So if you're willing to sign an agreement to protect them from the British and Soviets, they'll sign a pact to back you up should you go to war with France.
Okay, sounds good.
So-
Now, we would also like commercial aid to help rebuild China.
Mhm.
So basically a continuance of what the Pope is doing, but maybe making it official, having the government help them rebuild as well.
That
Okay.
we can probably
So it wouldn't come out of your military budget, it'd be something you convince the government to do.
Okay.
Right.
use some favors to...
hmm Yes, you could just use some favors or just get a really hard charm check with the government or something.
Got
I'd probably make it you go to the government, you talk about this, you make a charm check, and then depending on how high your charm check is how many favors you'd have to spend to convince them.
Okay.
Because right now, you have enough favors, you could convince them to do it without a charm check, but since you have somebody who is so good at politics and puppeting and stuff, you would basically just be the charm check would decide how many favors you have to spend to convince them. It could be as many as 5 or as few as 0, depending on how good your roll is.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Now, there is one thing that would be near the top of our list. We would want at least a private agreement from Italy that you would work towards this, either politically or, should politics and diplomacy fail, through war. There are 2 pieces of China that are a thorn in my side and I want dealt with. The city of Hong Kong and the city of Macau. I want them returned. Basically, the British have a naval base in China that they took from China during the Opium Wars, and they have held for several hundred years. And the Portuguese have something similar, and she wants them back. She does not like the British and Portuguese having military bases on Chinese territory.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't control, like, huge just those, like,
A single
cities.
city.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like
It would, in game, it would count as a fortress.
We could probably take both of
Yeah,
those.
I think in game we can probably do that when we eventually go to war with England, because
Yeah.
that's like an inevitability.
The
at
Portuguese
some
one we
point.
could probably do sooner.
And you could potentially politically convince them to give them up in some way, shape, or form. That's what happened in reality, eventually those cities were returned to China through politics, not war.
Yeah.
But she's basically saying, you're going to help us get them back either politically or through war. It seems like that's something that is important to her. It wouldn't be a lot of big, movement on borders, but Portugal is a nation you could easily defeat in a war one-on-one if you had to, as long as nobody came to back them up. But Britain would be...
I think we could get Portugal with the help of Japan and maybe even China.
Portugal is weaker than any of those 3 countries. Well, they're probably a little bit stronger than... I can't even say if they're stronger than China. It's just that China feels that if they invaded Macau, it would cause a harsh backlash from Europe that they wouldn't have a way to deal with.
We could probably pressure them. We could probably pressure them into giving it back.
Yeah, Portugal you might be able to bully into returning the city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Sanctions
Yeah. I
and
think
such.
we can do. I think we can do those.
Yeah.
I think we can do those.
And we'll have the Pope politic it out
Oh,
to
yeah.
make it
Yes.
seem good.
So, those are what she's asking for. Now she's going to give you a list of concessions. So these are things that, without you even pulling it up, she's willing to put these on the table. If you give me some of the things on the list I just said, here are some of the things I'm willing to put on the table. So she's not giving these to you now. She's saying, I'm willing to give these up if you make me the right deals.
Okay.
So, and you might remember this from your list of things Japan said, recognition of all forfeited Japanese holdings.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if you can make a deal with her, any territory that she gives up in that deal that is Chinese, she is willing to recognize as belonging to Japan.
That's
So,
great.
like
Okay.
Northern China, Korea, Taiwan, if any of those stay in Japanese hands by the end of this deal, she is willing to legally forfeit her right to them.
Okay.
Cool. That would be great.
Because you know that was a big thing Japan wanted. Because then that would mean that legally, there's no more contesting of those territories.
Yep.
They're legally Japanese.
Got it.
But you get the feeling that every bit of territory that was Chinese, that is now in Japanese hands, you're going to have to give her some good deals for her to give them up.
For each bit. Okay.
But for each one that she gives up, she will not renege on that later.
That's great. That's what we need.
Because that's a big thing Japan wants. And she knows that that's what Japan wants. So she is also willing to renounce reparations if the Japanese are completely unwilling.
Okay.
Basically meaning she will stop asking for them and basically forgive any damages that have been done up to this point as a part of the alliance going forward.
Okay.
That's good to know.
She is willing to join. I'm willing to join an alliance with Japan and you, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I would also be willing if the Japanese and potentially you or your other allies are very afraid of Soviet expansion at any point. I would be willing to sign. It's been floated around before, but never gained much traction. Something called an anti-Comintern pact. Basically, an agreement that should any of us ever be attacked by a communist country, all of us will band together to help each other.
Yeah, down with the commies. Down with the commies.
Down
just
with the
like,
commies,
just
down with
like
the
what it
commies,
said in the
dude.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. All right.
So she's willing to sign an anti-Comintern pact. I would also very much be interested in making technological trade deals and buy licenses both from you and Japan, should we forge an alliance of some kind.
Well, we want our allies to be powerful.
And something that I would be willing to concede to you personally in exchange for some of the things that I want as the representative of China is I'd be willing to give your Pope Courageous something that he has wanted for so long. I'll agree to Christian missionaries.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, that is a
Just
big
respect
them a
deal.
lot.
That
Yeah.
even whenever the British invaded during the Opium Wars and took Hong Kong,
Yeah.
even then, and the British literally forced them to agree to have their country addicted to opium, even then the British couldn't get them to agree to Christian
Yeah.
missionaries. So this would be a huge win for Courageous if he could get this.
Yeah.
You honestly might even get favors from him if you could get her to agree to that. So that'd be a historical thing if he could send missionaries there. And that's only possible because he's been the primary one helping her out all this time, and she knows, and like in her mind, like, does she want Christian missionaries in China? No, she doesn't. But is she willing to accept that in exchange for
Help.
territory or like warships or things like that? She's willing to make that concession, and she knows that Italians are willing to pay through the nose to get that right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what we want. We want our holy crusade going.
So she knows you're willing to pay through the nose for that, and that's why she's putting it on the table.
Yeah.
Okay, man,
So-
that's pretty good.
Those are her list of concessions, and I'll put all that in a document for you real quick while you three go ahead and discuss.
All right.
So I'm honestly, I really like where she's going with this. Honestly,
I don't think we can straight up agree to anything right now. I think we're gonna have to get everybody
Right,
involved
'cause we
at
have
a
to
table.
we have to talk to Japan
Oh,
about
actually,
this
this-
because Japan is the main person that we're gonna make
Yeah.
this alliance.
Basically, we're gonna have to list everything out and then like basically do like our Halloween candy
Right,
trading.
we have to do the trading game.
Yes.
Okay, I just put all the stuff. I just put it in her sheet.
Okay, yeah, good. That's good.
Cool.
Great.
Yes. So changes should show up in her sheet now. She was like, "Oh wait, I don't have to make a hand. I'll just put it in her
Yeah.
sheet."
And also, a bunch of that was optional, so we'll just
Yes.
have to pick and choose the ones that are
Right.
more advantageous for us.
They'll generally be relatively one for one. Some of them might just be more worthwhile than others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say that we are coming up on 3 hours. This is the
Mhm.
longest
Oh
we've done in
wow!
a
Yeah.
while.
We were getting really into
Right.
it.
I'm just trying to move you guys through. You guys spent forever in Siam.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So I'm thinking,
we were exploring.
Yes.
what if we think about her demands over this week, and we think about what we want to do with the other part of China over this next week.
Well, we also have to talk to Western China.
Right,
We do have to
exactly,
talk to
so-
Western China, so we can be thinking about the demands, but we're not going to make any decision until we've talked with Western China.
And Japan. We have to talk to Japan about what she's saying.
We're going to talk to Japan. Having not met Western China yet, I'm still leaning towards siding with her. Not just because she's hot, but she is hot.
Does it have anything to do with the chat making auga and monkey noises as soon as you showed up and chanting down with the commies as soon as you mentioned the other two?
I will say, Scribs and Simp, I agree that we should see the other guy.
You will get to. He also has art.
Yeah. So
you just don't get to see it till you visit him.
Right. I think we make a decision and talk about her demands over this next week.
And one thing you also do know about her in general is that she is not going to back down from a fight if she can get something out of it.
Oh yeah, no, I totally understand that.
I'm not going to necessarily say the other guy isn't the same way, but you know that she is down for a fight if you're willing to arm her. And the thing is, Japan's population is 50%, maybe double yours. She currently has nearly 3 times Japan's population under her control, and she's looking to double that.
Yeah.
So you could potentially have a country of 300 million people
as a friend.
Yeah. If she can reunite all of the currently free China.
Yeah. But yeah, I think right here is a good place to stop because again, we're nearly 3 hours in. This is about the longest we've gone, and since the fight we did close to the beginning.
Before we do our sign off, I do want to say, check out the Discord real quick. There's some very good memes from Mitch Mash about some of the stuff that happened earlier. No Dragon Mommy memes yet, but
we'll get there.
It's about what happened with the missing man that also took longer than I thought it would.
Daniel losing one of his officers, Batman. Where is he?
Oh, that's great.
Alright, so just a lot of stuff happened that I didn't think would take a long time, so we got to at least one of them, so I'll call that good.
Yeah.
So, we'll go ahead and start signing off. Before we go, I just want to hear from each of you, what was your favorite part of the session? And from the chat, feel free to say so as well.
I think meeting her was probably like, look at her.
I will say,
look at her!
I will say my favorite part is how distraught Red got at a guy getting snatched.
I liked my guy. I wanted to have some rapport because we don't really have any friendly relations with any of our subordinates in main canon.
Some friends with some of my subordinates.
I'm not. That was my one friend at the moment because I haven't had a chance to really properly interact with my people.
I've gotten all my subordinates to be in a Don't Do Drugs program, in the DARE program.
Yes, they all joined DARE.
What was your favorite part? We'll get yours and then I'll read the chat.
Okay. I'll read the chats if you want to read
you go first.
My favorite was honestly my missing man.
It
was a really fun little mystery.
It's a good little show of the nautical nonsense system.
Yeah.
Because it literally, all of that one said, I'll read you out what it said. It's just you asked to see a specific sailor in the fleet, but no one in the entire fleet seems to remember them at all. It's just
Alrighty. Now, the chat's favorite moment.
Oh, yeah. Meeting her was a lot of fun. I also like being able to use my psychic powers. Those are my 2 favorites. I like those both a lot. And also just trying to work with her and get her what she wants.
And chat's favorite part, as they are chanting, is Dragon Mommy, Dragon Mommy, Dragon Mommy. I really hope you guys don't fall in love too much with the other guy because I think chat's gonna hate you if you sign against.
Unless they fall in love with him.
Unless they want to see her step on us.
Would you like to? I will give you guys this though if you want to. Do you want to know what the personality type of Zogwang is?
Yeah, I would like to know.
He is feral.
Oh no.
Oh no.
His personality type is feral. So you have a feral and a warmonger in China.
No wonder they don't like each other.
Yeah, of course they hate each other.
I want to see him though.
I want them to.
Right, but
of course.
we can't yet. We have to wait till it's time.
Wait till it's time. All right, so that's going to be the end of our session today. We're just hitting 3 hours almost exactly. So this has been a great time. I'm glad that chat loved our new admiral that's been introduced. There's not going to be a lot of not a lot of other female admirals to be introduced. I planned them all out. There is one other they haven't met yet that I have already pre-planned. And we'll just get to see when they get to meet all the other admirals, because my current plan is If I think they're going to be important, I'm going to try and get art for them. If you want to fund that even more, join the Patreon, go to our website, and go to itch.io and buy the game for yourself. And soon, I hopefully might even have more services that you can pay for as well outside of the Patreon. So I'm still working on that. I'm trying a little bit at a time. And we will see all of you guys next time. Feel free to check us out live or on our YouTube channel a couple weeks later.
Or talk with us on our Discord.
Talk with us on Discord. Discord's great. You can join it through the website. We fixed that. It's not broken anymore. We fixed it. We fixed it.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.